Very good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Octane Online Racing Simrigs Sprint Series here for Split Blue Round 1 at COTA. My name is Mitch Hobbs, and joining me in the comms box this evening is Brad Cook and Sean Brimblecombe, and on the broadcast we have Glenn Germain. How are we doing, lads?
Very well, Hobbsy. Also our first timer, Sean. How are you tonight?
I'm doing well. Looking forward to seeing some good racing tonight.
Yeah, well, good racing we'll see, and I think a big talking point, of course, today is the 1.9.6 update that we received early hours of this morning here in Australia, which has thrown the BOP into a bit of an overdrive as we've made the late decision to not use the LFM BOP for this evening's splits and going forward, as LFM need to get their BOP sorted again. No fault of their own, just Kunos deciding to make some changes on the cars, boys.
Yeah, look, it's sort of thrown things up in the air for tonight, so I'm actually keen to see which cars are going to be speedy, which aren't. I still think the BMW, the Ferrari, and the Porsche are probably still going to be the ones to beat here. But yeah, maybe we'll see some smokies from some other manufacturers.
It's going to be good to see a direct comparison between the old LFM bop and the new Kunos bop to see who can do it better, I guess, the community or the devs with all the tools in their toolkit.
Yeah, too right. I definitely think looking at the rough information, that they're not 100% accurate information, I should say, given in the forum that's been shared around, they've definitely taken inspiration from the BOP. And I guess the best way to summarize it, that everyone's summarizing it, the Nissan and Lexus are back, boys.
Yeah, there's a lot of excited Nissan fans around OR, just frothing at the opportunity to jump back in the Nissan.
Mike Crick, are you there?
Still doesn't look like a particularly pleasant car to drive, but it should be quick. So, yeah, look, everyone's excited for that. I may even dip my toes into a bit of Lexus action just to see how quick it is. But anyway, we've got all the drivers out warming up their cars for a quali run, as we're just riding along with Ethan Payno in the BMW. Only a few amps that I can see on the leaderboard, but yeah. What's now with the LFM bop removed and the Kunos bop? Do you reckon we'll see many drivers dipping into the fours tonight?
Look, I think on a top lap, P1, I reckon we'll see a 204, maybe P2. If the top three can get into 204, we're going to be in for one hell of a race, I can tell you that.
Oh, that Ferrari!
Yeah. All right then. That's a good start. That's a promising start. But,
just wasn't expecting the backup into the final turn, but it's yeah, it hasn't given himself much space. But Ethan Payno comes across the line to start his first flying lap, heading up into P1. Difficult braking approach, can easily lose the rear on entry here, but looks like he's gone through there quite nicely. And then heading into the series of S's here, which really hard to spot these apexes and accidentally invalidate a lap.
Definitely been the hardest part of learning this track. Just not cutting those corners like you can at every other circuit in the game.
well, it's a really bizarre circuit here. I think we'll find is that you got to stay within the white lines everywhere except probably the second to last corner, the curve on the inside there. You can really cut that, and I don't know if I like that or not. It's not very consistent.
You can also go wide on the curve on the exit as well. You can take a bit more of the ripple strip and go over that white line, which is a good trick to have, but really easy to get that that track limit penalty rather than just a warning venturing out that way.
Well, I mean, if Formula One can't get their track limits consistent, we can't really blame Kunos, can we? But
Look,
we still will.
We will. That's right.
It's an authentic racing experience.
Yes.
That's exactly right. It's authentic in the we don't know where the track limits are.
As he
And there's
runs.
another tough corner. Oh.
Yeah. Trying to keep the front tyres gripped up while you're trying to retard some speed off the car, and then into this very, very long right-hander. It just feels like it never ends. Takes a good amount of curb. And then coming in, also this final corner is extremely awkward as the road rises up as you're turning in. And looks like the first times are coming up. We've got Mia Rose in P1 with a 205.7. Pretty solid outlap, and Tom McDonald only 0.045 behind.
Yeah, it's just an interesting one to keep an eye on here with Rose after these changes because, and you can tell us firsthand, Brad, and I've heard this myself, the Porsche actually is stable now.
Yeah, there's been a few excited Porsche fans around the traps. I only did about 3 laps in it just to see what all the fuss was about. It definitely, the rear end of the car just definitely feels a lot more tied down. You can even run less TC on it now without the wheels wanting to slip up too much. So yeah, Mia will definitely be wanting to take advantage of that. Coming to the end of that very long back straight into the double right-hander. Just a really technical sequence of corners through here. Very easy to light up the rear wheels. And then again into this difficult braking approach. And then what's your method, Hobbsy, for running through this very long right-hander? Do you hug it tight? Do you start out a bit wider?
Look, I think it's a lot of personal preference and what you can actually get the car to do. I couldn't quite get Lemurk to hold the inside, so I had to take the approach of sort of following the gripped up line, the optimum. Well, it's not optimum; it's just the really gripped in line. That alrighty, then. Just sure 2047. Go for it.
Yep, no worries, that's fine.
Well, it's fine.
There it is.
Yeah, there it was, halfway through qualifying, but. I think, the 2 approaches is keep it tight, touch the curb, get on power. Or the way that I did it was start slightly wider, lift off a little bit, let the car rotate, and then just get the car to rotate on power and hold that minimum speed through, which you should do either way, of course, but more so doing that sort of method, which evidently with a lap time like that, Mia Rose is doing perfectly fine.
I'm sure in my race yesterday, I don't think I took the same line twice through that corner. Such a interesting corner to get through. Was it 4 right-handers all in one go?
Yeah, there's about 4 different apexes within that corner. As Mia Rose just coming up on a bit of traffic. That looks like the BMW of Grant Begg, I believe. So.
Oh, slipstream, why not? I think Grant's going to get out of the way. No?
No, he's not getting out of the way. Maybe Mia's invalidated. Yeah, I think Mia's actually invalidated, so she might. Yeah. So we jump on board with Grant Begg in the Pit Viper Playmate entry.
Yeah, but specifically number 2.
Number 2, yep, the second.
Oh, sick drift.
Who number 1 is.
You.
This might be a good opportunity to actually shout out. That's a great opportunity to shout out Grant's coaching business he's running on the side. Just for 1,000 of your Australian dollars.
Let's not get this inside joke right. This OOR inside joke. Let's not even go there.
Grant's coaching business, and he can just tell you.
Oh, see you later, fella. Yeah.
Teach you how to invalidate a lap.
Yeah, that. What Toby Stent's just done there is a really good example of what happens A, in that corner when you miss your braking point, B, have the brake bias quite a long way back, and C, could be running too low ABS. It could be all of those things combined.
And also just a floaty Aston rear end.
So what's he got? 3 ABS, 62. I think he's just broke too late.
Yeah.
Just going
Easy
for the
to do.
style points. Bit of sideways entry.
Just seen here, we've got Holmes, the Pro-Am entry, up into P2 so far. Given 8/10ths off, but still a great effort.
I mean, if he's doing laps like this in the next race, Pro-Am, I think that's going to change pretty quickly.
Yeah, anything to the 5s is bloody quick, so those are definitely some pro times right there. Just also taking
I don't think we'd be that mate.
No. Down the leaderboard a bit. Ashland Reynolds, surprised to see him on the grid tonight. Would be expecting him to go a bit quicker than what he's at now, so probably just still getting his eye in.
Well, Brad, did you read the BOP notes? The Lambo got nerfed.
Yeah, I won't touch that one.
I mean, it's still fast. You know, Reynolds is a really good driver, so I expect he's probably just getting used to the track. I know he wasn't actually expecting to be racing tonight, so I think still probably getting used to the track and the setup and a simplistic livery.
I mean, it's just in primer. It's getting prepped.
Right.
They were prepping the livery, but they didn't manage to actually get the paint onto it. So it's just the primer for tonight.
Oh, a little bit wide through there. It's a really tough section through the S's there. It's probably my least favourite part almost of this track. It's really quite difficult. And then up here, this left-hander over the hill, the rear will come round if you're not careful. Reynolds kept it in check, but if you don't get on the power early enough and keep that speed up, you just lose so much time and the rear comes around and then you invalidate and then it's game over.
It's a damned if you do, damned if you don't sort of section of corners. You get on it too early and then you go wide and invalidate, or just get a lot of TC intervention, or you go too softly and then you just don't have enough speed to keep your delta up.
In short, it's a pain in the bum.
This part of the track, however, the big long straight, quite nice.
Funny that one, isn't it?
How is the Lambo here? I noticed Stefano is usually quite handy in the Lambo, and it just looked like it just didn't quite have the ultimate pace. So I'm imagining maybe it's not the strongest track for the Lambo. So
yeah, look, you're right. It's not the strongest, and you know we've known the Lambo always not to have the best top speed. So the straight there for front and back straight, not really going to help as Reynolds does a drift through there, fully sick. So look, I think in the actual corners, I know this might be stupidly obvious information, but in the corners, the Lambo should be pretty good. I haven't driven it too much myself on 1.9, let alone on this new patch. Not much has changed in the way it should drive, but it's certainly going to... Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, just flexing what the Porsche is capable of here.
Oh, is there going to be a 4 here? Oh, my goodness. Oh, not a 3. No. Yeah, I was going to say that's
not
illegal.
4,
you can't.
Yep. Oh,
there's a 4.
That's great.
That's good luck to anybody who gets to that time, because that's insane. Just going to put it out there. That's insane.
That's quick.
Kind of me wishing I had that update last night.
Yeah,
to feel that kind of speed, but yeah, that's a bloody incredible lap right there. Currently pulling 9/10ths onto P2, so hopefully the boys behind her can pull up their socks and at least try and get that margin down.
I mean, minute and a half left here in qualifying, so Mia's still got one more lap, and she's going to need it because she's just gotten blocked. Oh!
Yeah, just a little compromise on the entry there, a bit of a oversteer moment on power. Still basically level with
that's
previous
worrying.
lap. Taking the esports line down the straight. she got anything left in this corner here. Wow, okay, no, just a little bit too deep.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Still valid somehow.
Don't speak too soon. There's still the final sector.
Got a
Reynolds up 6, losing a little bit, 5-5.
Yeah, that could have been
Very
P2,
nice.
I reckon. That was just, he's still got one more lap, so. And Layla Bell actually just popped up into the top 5 there, only about 300s ahead of Beg there, so that could be an interesting little battle.
Yeah, there's some, if you ignore Mia Rose in this scenario, it's pretty tight between P2 all the way back to P6, and then again tight at the, well, excluding Layla Bell, those 2 silver rated drivers, Stenton and McKellar, are also quite close together as well. So we should have some tight little packs grouping up. It's Tom McDonald, a 5 flat. That is a very good effort. Very impressive lap. Has
Beg in the top 5.
Time for one more.
At 2:05.5, Vic. Not bad.
Yeah,
That'd be a 6. Oh, it might be a 6 dead,
no,
actually.
It's 6 dead, you're right. Yeah,
It's
it
a
is.
6 dead. I can do maths.
And when we mean a 5.6 dead, people, not a 206. Oh, that's looking nice for McDonald through that. That was really smooth. It's a nice bit of driving he's done there. I don't think we've seen that on one of his laps yet. I mean, he's a very good driver, McDonald. Don't get me wrong, but just that looked a lot smoother than what he's done so far. This is a crucial corner as well, getting the exit right. People
power down really nicely there. Just keep ticking that delta up down the straight. Should be up by a bit over 2/10 by the time he gets down to this braking zone. Yeah, you just got to hold your nerve for the rest of the lap. There's just 20 corners at this track. It's so easy to just, you can dump 2/10 at any one of these corners in the final sector. As we jump back to the pit lane.
As we blame. That's okay. Glenn's just having a moment. Fix it, Glenn. You've broken the Discord stream. We're on the other screen. Technical difficulties, people. We'll just get this sorted.
I'm just going to pretend that Tom McDonald's up 4/10, up 6/10.
Yep, we'll pretend that.
No, sorry.
Oh, no.
Curse the man.
Curse the man.
Still a solid effort, though. He'd be pretty proud of that qualifying effort.
So, Rose throwing it on pole. McDonald gave it everything to try and close that gap, but unfortunately, just couldn't quite get within even half a second. Rose just absolutely dominating there in that more stable Porsche. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. Layla Bell was up there in the top 10. It's a really solid effort. She came out of nowhere. I didn't even see her until, bam, P5. It was a very good lap. Layla Bell will be one to look out for, I reckon, for the silver class drivers.
And how about Josh Holmes? P3, Pro-Am.
Yeah.
He's really made some moves up since last sprint season. Really good effort.
Yeah, definitely putting in the work in the off season. Yeah, if not pro next round, I reckon possibly a silver badge next to his name. But yeah, we'll see how it goes in the race. Now,
I'm going to upset Glenn by saying we're still seeing we're not seeing the stream output. That's going to upset Glenn.
While you upset Glenn,
yep.
You probably won't need too many guesses, but who's your money on to take out this race?
You can't go past Mia Rose, can you? I mean, really?
Well, first she's got to beat this track and not get a drive-through, which is probably the hardest part to complete. But yeah, it looks like she's definitely got the commanding pace in the field. But yeah, I'm actually quite keen to see what happens between the rest of the pro drivers, from Tom McDonald back down to Grant Begg, and even throw Layla Bell in there as well. Looks like she's got the pace to run with those guys too.
Be interesting also to see if the changes in the Porsche suspension and dampers have any effect on its tyre wear. Is it going to use more or less tyre? Is it going to kind of hamstring her strategy? Like, what's going to happen there?
We're still seeing the preview. We're not seeing the output. Yeah, when you did that before, Glenn, it broke it. This is very technical, people. You're hearing the problem solving here in the comms box. And I bet they're all sitting there going, what on earth are they talking about? Nope. We were on the M4. Glenn's just producing some magic for us, everybody. Would you like me to stream my screen so you can see what we're seeing?
Got stream inception going on in the commentary box.
You've broken it. I mean, I just sent you a screenshot of what we're seeing.
Yeah, welcome to a new season, everyone.
Yes.
Thought I'd turn my mic on. Turn my mic on so everyone can. So everybody can
hear you. So I was just talking to myself. Oh, that's
that's right. Yep. So you're not on the. How am I streaming something that I can't see? It's magic. Absolute magic. So if I kill that one computer's worth of ACC.
Yeah, we're just seeing the one you're killing.
Yep. And I'll get rid of that. Now, how the hell?
We're all going to pretend we can see what's going on.
Yep.
I've got the stream
open.
Stream's now showing. There we go. Now, let's get you to see. Yes. And the race is just about to start, so
green light, give it all you can.
And Brad's going to call the start.
50 seconds delayed. We are green.
Seeing the other screen.
There are a bunch of cars going through T1, or probably T3 by now.
Do you want to just stream the game, Glenn?
Are you still seeing the other?
Yes.
Whilst I'm actually sending you a projection of the race itself. Brilliant.
Nice.
Sure.
Come on, Glenn, you can do it.
I need you to, s-
Yeah, kind of. Little to no contact, fantastic. That's what we want to see. No drive-throughs, people, please.
just see.
I can't see. We can't see the race. So, yep. Stay. There you go. Mia Rose has already pulled out a 1.1 second gap. Exciting stuff. From the second screen that people can't see. Nice battle for P4 there. Reynolds and Begg and Stentz also in there. Bell's gone down position. Piper, Jesus, what a train.
Yeah, it looks like a bit of a train there forming. Can't quite see who's the head of that train. Probably Begg at this point.
Yeah, that's actually Reynolds, I think.
Oh, Reynolds, yep.
But we're just on board with Ethan Payno, so I'm going to assume that yes. Glenn's pulling his hair out at this point.
You see anything now? Is it just gone?
Glenn's had this problem once before. I don't know if it's the last time, so it's just gonna
Yes, it's a very simple thing to fix.
be- I don't know what the fix was.
Chris Taylor's got a suggestion. Could you blow out the vacuum tubes, Glenn?
Oh, yeah.
Part of Glenn's master plan to take down OOR from the
Yeah, that's right.
inside.
No. Glenn's going to be upset knowing we're still seeing.
Yeah, I know.
Pit window is opening.
Begg and Reynolds still out though. Stent behind. Bell's dropped back a bit. Piper's in there too, and a Bentley. Can't believe it. The Highlands there. McKellar, McClaws. Everybody's there.
Yeah, that's a very long train. It's like Reynolds
Choo-choo.
is actually just... Oh no, Begg's only 3 behind Reynolds there, so...
Still wrong. No matter which I choose, whether it's the game or the
It's always selecting the second.
It's always
screen.
selecting the wrong screen, no matter what I select. Okay.
Maybe we need to try some reverse psychology and select the wrong thing.
I've
Like
tried
choose-
that.
No. I can't hit you with the turn it off and on again because that would down the stream.
Yeah,
That
we
would be
can't have
very
that.
sad.
Yep.
Holbeck was in the 10th of Reynolds again. I guess that's a straight. The Lambo showing its poor straight line speed, and Cameron Thistlethwaite's bailing me. That's nice. How about no?
Fair cop, to be honest.
Hey,
Well, you weren't originally meant to be here, so...
it's true.
Nope.
Oh, we're seeing Zuhaili
We're
from Hotchid.
back.
Glenn, is that back?
We are back. Just like the Nissan and the Lexus, we are back, baby.
Yeah, but we've got to confirm with Glenn. Is seeing Zuhaili correct?
Yes.
Whoa, we're back then.
Hey.
That's good.
Round
Now-
of applause
Now,
for
if I
Glenn.
click
Oh.
this, is it going to all go to custard again?
At least Glenn will know how to fix it.
Oh dear.
Welcome to the OOR IT Consultant Services. How can I help you? I'm not cursed, Cameron. You sure?
Shouldn't you know how to fix this, Hobbsy?
No, because I don't stream.
I mean, yeah, can't argue that.
With Reynolds on the edge of the screen there again. Was it going to be pulled off by Begg? No one knows.
S- Who are you on?
Zuhaili. Oh, Begg.
Hey,
Did get through, didn't get through? I'm confused. What does it say fourth? I think that's line.
Yeah, that's Reynolds in front, so he's still...
Still couldn't get through.
That Lambo must be so good on the brakes coming into the final corner.
Oh, yeah, it is.
A little bit deep there. Just in that aero wash. So hard to drive through.
Yeah, and it's in a bit of trouble. Stent's there with Bell, but Stent's in big trouble if Bell can pull this off.
It's going to be... Oh,
She's-
she sent
she's
it deep.
looking-
Meets at the
Oh!
apex. A little bit of bump and grind there, but... Oh, it's going to be a tough one to call that. It's just a bit of door banging and then Kunos Netcode just pushing the Aston off the road a bit. The space was there, but...
Yep.
Yeah, just a bit of awkward contact. I say play on in my book.
Little bit
I
of
say
rubbing
here
his
you go,
racing.
stewards.
Definitely not making a call or bias towards the Porsche
No.
driver, but
No, don't do that.
But yeah, it looks like we're back and following
Yep.
Grant Berg chasing down Ashland Reynolds. We'll see how much time he's able to pull back on him down this straight.
Oh, a bit of a slide.
Yeah, a bit too eager on the power there, Grant. But yeah, the straight line speed of that BMW should some time
Yeah.
back.
We need to get Glenn a beer.
As we've got Stent chasing Layla Bell back there across the track as well.
It only registered to me, Glenn, about 3 seconds after what you actually said. Oh, good. So I'm glad Stream didn't hear that, but
We're all just sounding a
We're
little
all-
bit nuts. We've got voices
Oh.
in our heads. Grant just
we're not completely insane yet.
Only slightly.
Sean, this is what you've got to look forward to being in the comms box.
I've already lost my mind at this point. What a first
Oh,
day on the
right.
job.
Yeah,
No, getting things back under control.
Oh, a bit
And
wide.
he's on the ragged edge a bit here. Maybe just overdriving a little bit. Probably also feeling a bit nervous having that pro badge next to his name. But yeah, seeing Reynolds within striking distance would definitely be exciting. As Stent coming back at Layla Bell.
Yep, down the inside.
Hopefully, once Glenn has sorted everything out, we can start to jump around the field a little bit.
Oh,
So just
Piper's
bear
making
with
a
us.
move in the Bentley. Oh,
Yeah,
he's trying to make it side by side through
No.
the S's.
Oh.
definitely only one lane through there. But yeah, Piper's got that Bentley working pretty well to be within the top 10. Can't imagine the Bentley would be too pleasant through those S's there.
No, I imagine you're right, and something we actually haven't touched on as of yet, and something we definitely should, is there's 2 mandatory pit stops this evening for tyres in this race, with a pit window 5 minutes in and 5 minutes remaining is when it closes. So any sort of strategies here, people, that you'd sort of look towards?
Look, if I was one of these drivers in this pack right now, thinking that I've got a lot more pace than those around me, I'd be jumping in right now, getting that undercut done, because you're going to need a few laps of undercut to be able to make that work anyway. So I'd definitely be considering that. But yeah, if you're out in front, Reynolds and above, you're definitely just going to want to run as long as you can, avoid getting involved in any traffic. Yeah, what about yourself, Sean?
It's a long lap. It's a big track, so there's a lot of space if you do go for that early pit stop before you start getting caught by the leaders in blue flags. So it could work out quite nicely if you have the pace to kind of stay ahead of those leaders, or hopefully just they pit before they catch up to you. Because if you get caught by the leaders, you're going to lose a lot of time and kind of ruin the whole exercise of trying to do the undercut, I guess.
Yeah, precisely. I just taking a look at Layla Bell's rear wing there. I do kind of like the
Australian flag, yeah.
End plates there. It's a nice little touch. Not something you would see from the outside of the car. So yeah, no, nice little touch on the livery there. It looks like she's handling that Porsche quite nicely through these S's, but that Bentley is just got a fair amount of speed. It's yeah. Oops, someone went flying off.
Yeah, that was very wide from someone there. I couldn't quite work out who that was, but might have to keep an eye on that. I think we'll see over the sector lines if anyone's dropping positions, either out of Sector 1 or towards Sector 2. It might have just, it would have just been after the first line into Sector 2, so we'll see down the straight if anyone has lost position. Layla Bell's got Piper behind. The Bentley's pretty rapid on the straight, so if I was Layla Bell, I'd be a bit worried myself coming down here. Let's just have a look at the positions. I don't think anyone's changed. Zuhaili's still there, McClaw's still there, McKellar still there. So I think it was just a quick off for those drivers.
Yeah, there's plenty of space to run wide out there, so probably didn't lose too much, whoever that was. But yeah, that Bentley definitely ranges up, but just not enough to really be in a position to actually go for a lunge. But, yeah, the Piper will definitely keep the claws in and try and rattle Layla Bell, try and get that position.
I guess the big question in the strategy here is, if you pit early, is the longest stint that you're going to have, the amount of time that you may lose, is that greater than the time that you might get back from having 3 shorter stints? That's the big question. I don't know the answer to that.
Yeah, look, it's just going to come down to personal preference. The drivers will know how much more time they've got in them, whether they're actually being held up. But also, when you're in a pack like that, sometimes you just want to race, and dipping out of the queue to go run on your own just sometimes isn't that enticing either. As we jump on board with Josh Holmes, running in a solid P3. He's gapped Ashlyn Reynolds, which is no mean feat in itself.
Yeah.
Doing a great job here at COTA.
I guess
Getting within touching distance of McDonald as well. Like, this is one hell of a drive.
Yeah, absolutely. But I guess the question here is the Ferrari good feeling around here? And for that, we go to you, Sean. How does it feel around here since you're the one who is driving it this season?
Well, if you don't do the thing that I did, and
we'll ignore that.
adjust your tire pressures and crash into the pit wall, it's pretty nice. It's a pretty good race car. It feels good, nice and stable through the S's. Good pace down the back straight, and obviously the ginormous anchors it can throw out the back to get it stopped. It's a pretty good race car. I'm quite enjoying it. I'm looking forward to driving it for the rest of the season. Not going to make a sneaky early change like some drivers might be with the new bomb.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. But of course, you've got until the final round to make that change, and you cannot change the final round. All right, Mia Rose, let's just calm it down a bit now. A 2:04.8 in the race, that's disgusting.
Yeah. Yeah. Just move on from that.
Yeah, well, you can't really go better than that, can you? And I'm sure she'll still improve in that second stint whenever she decides to pit.
Yeah, look, possibly. Last night I actually found it interesting that I sort of just ended up getting slower as the race went on, whether or not that was just due to just fatigue as the race went on, or something within the track was just degrading. But yeah, we'll see if she can increase that fastest lap time as we watch her coming down into, I believe this is turn 11. The worst hairpin in the game.
In the game, that's a big
bold
call.
Statement.
Yeah, that's a big call. I don't know if you've tried La Source at Spa, Brad, but yeah.
I would much prefer La Source than that, actually.
I gotta agree with Brad on this one. La Source is not as bad as you're making it out to be.
At least you can see the apex at La Source.
Well, that's very true. Well, you can see the apex depending on how you take that line of course. And speaking of line, here's a line of cars that's being led by Stent. Line of 5, that's Shane McClaw's there, just at the back, lurking around this. Ben Piper's right in the middle. So Hiley's behind. I reckon there might be a pit stop here in this coming lap from a driver. I just couldn't quite tell you who it is. Maybe Layla Bell would be my guess if anyone's going to pit.
Yeah, that rear end's looking a little bit slidey.
How you going?
She's probably giving it some thought, especially trying to get past this Aston. You're not going to get a run on it down the straight, so there's not that many opportunities for an overtaking opportunity. You're really relying on Stent to make an error, a pretty big error, in order to be able to get that move done.
Ooh, still going. Ooh,
Yeah,
McClaws jumps in. I guess that's not the worst play. Oh, this is another thing. Speeding in the pit lanes. Watch out, people. Don't do it.
Very early pits limit line. You think it might be the second line, but it is the first, and somebody took out the pit board in the first race of on Wednesday night. So.
That was
was.
you, Sean?
No, it was not me. It was not me, actually. I crashed. I crashed squarely into the wall. I missed the entry completely.
So you tried to remove the entire wall and not just the pit lane speed sign.
Ooh.
Exactly right.
Oh,
exactly
Chad's
right.
been hit with the power. 10-second penalty.
Yeah, lap 8. That's not good. So...
Now, this joke isn't gonna hit as well because his livery hasn't loaded for the broadcast, but what is he gonna do? Running the Mountain Dew livery that we cannot see. Oh gosh.
And that's been Sean Brimblecombe, everybody. Oh goodness me. Geez, that Bentley down the straight. Ooh, that's exciting to see. Look at that beast.
Yeah, I would not want to be in
Shame it's so
Bell's.
slow.
I would not want to be in Layla Bell's position. You've got a
No.
a rocket ship in front of you and a rocket ship behind you. At least you can just create a cushion in the corners. But
Well, no, she's in a rocket ship in the mid corner, I admit.
Yes,
Rocket
yes.
ship, nevertheless. Oh, Mia Rose jumped in the pits.
Yeah, that's probably about the right time. She's
Yeah.
hasn't got too much to worry about as well, just running her own race.
Oh, McDonald followed. I was not expecting that. Is Holmes going to follow? No. Is Reynolds going to follow? No. Yes.
Yes, he
But
does.
Is Beg following?
stays
No.
out. Yeah.
I
That's
like
not
that.
the worst play, actually.
Yeah, I like that by Beg and Holmes. Just have a crack at the overcut. What do you reckon here? Just one lap, or do you reckon 2 laps is achievable for an overcut?
I think the general rule of thumb is 2 laps, but for someone like Beg that was closing in and losing out on Reynolds, look, you could gamble and go straight in the next lap if you have a cracking in lap. I wouldn't blame him if you came in this lap for a cracking one. But Piper stayed out, which was certainly a good strategy from him. The Bentley's pretty good on tyres and fuel, so it can stay out a little bit longer. Holmes is the same. I think he's sort of running his own race, just wants to cement his position.
There we go. There's the drive
Never
through.
mind, Piper. Rightio.
That's the first one, probably of many.
Yes. I mean, at least it wasn't like Split Yellow last night where we had to drive through 10 minutes in. We won't talk about that, Nigel, I swear.
And we are looking at...
Yeah, Mia Rose has come out in P8 in plenty of clear space, so that has worked very well for her. No one to worry about. She's going to have a very lonely race at this rate.
What is that livery? I'm sorry, what is that?
Not a fan, Hobbsy?
No. The pink I can appreciate, but the rest... Eh... Oh, nice exit though. That was smooth. Which is unusual for the Porsche.
It's that new rear end working wonders, it seems.
Must be. I think that was McDonald in the background there. You saw just coming into the hairpin there, and it was car 8. Reynolds is out. P10 at the moment. Holmes does jump into the pits, so just trying to run his own race. Decides I'm only going to do the 1 lap. So does Beg. Okay, that's probably not the worst strategy. Yep, Stent's in 2. They just wanted to offset each other, I think.
And
Piper for his drive-through.
Yep.
Wop wop.
So yeah, a couple of interesting rejoins to keep an eye on here between Holmes, Beg, and who else was that? Stent as well, between Layla Bell. So interesting to see whether or not the undercut or the overcut has worked for any of these drivers.
Yeah, you'll see if they've screwed up the pit stops or not. We know that Beg was around 2/10 behind Reynolds when they decided to pit, but of course that may be offset with Reynolds coming into the pits. It could be about 3 or 4/10. Layla Bell now, we'll see come round towards Stent and see how that one plays out. Pethy Bridge deciding not to pit just yet. Here comes Reynolds though. And where is Beg? Beg's pit stop has been served. He's rolling down. And Holmes
It's going to be
close. It's going to be close.
Oh,
I think Reynolds is going to be there. Yeah, I think Reynolds is just
like Reynolds
missed.
got
Yeah,
covered. Yep.
it's a long way ahead. So that must have been a really nasty stop there, maybe for Beg. Just couldn't quite get that one right. So that's probably about 5-6 seconds there. That's just been lost. It's not an ideal situation. It's still another pit stop though that maybe screwed up as Layla Bell gets past.
That undercut has actually worked for Layla Bell, so she potentially did have a bit more pace than Stent. Just once you get stuck.
Oh, that was a cut.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah, that's another thing to look out for. That was nasty. If that wasn't a cut, I don't know what was.
Put that one on my tab, officer.
Yeah, exactly right.
Just take a speed token every now and then, just to try and ease the gap a little bit. But yeah, you want to be careful with that. Don't want to be sweating for the next 30 minutes with 2 warnings or potentially 3. But that Aston looking very strong under brakes as well, which is
unusual.
Yes.
It's a bit weird seeing the words Aston good under brakes. I don't know what your what you're talking about. But he's certainly pulling it up nicely. And Bell's going, uh-oh, it's a straight. There's an Aston behind me. That's not good. And should be breaking at the white line there. And Jar's just a little bit after. They've got Begg ahead, actually, so they might be able to catch up. And Stent certainly not taking to the disadvantage of having those colder tyres to Bell, still keeping on nicely, which is a worry for Bell considering she's on the warmer tyres.
This Aston Martin's looking racy. Maybe just didn't have the tire pressures dialed in. Oh, wow. 777. 204 777. Wow.
And I bet you there's going to be an even faster lap coming, because that's only about 3 laps into the stint.
So we've only
Piper
got
is also
Chad left to pit. Yeah, sorry.
Chad left the pit. Piper's also come in after 7 that drive through to complete his first mandatory as well. Yeah. Oh, at least he's got 3 fresh track cuts for the rest of the race. You got to look at the positives sometimes.
Well, I mean, if his 3 lasted him 20 minutes, I mean, and another 3 only going to last 20 minutes? I hope not for his sake.
That depends whether you learn from your mistakes or not.
Yeah, well, that's a very good point.
I think Chad's out here just wanting to show his superiority in the Porsche. That's a shame the livery didn't load. There's always next week. But still, I'm enjoying that flavour of green.
It's a good green, isn't it?
Yep. Surely he will come in this lap.
Looking at the way that car's driving, I'd hope so for his sake.
Has he gotten his stat? Has he gotten his lead lap? Yep.
Oh,
he almost did what I did. So scary.
I clenched for a moment. I thought he's carrying way too much speed to be able to pull that car up, and he just managed to do it. Yes, I'm sure there was a bit of panic in that cockpit there.
yeah.
Oh, wow. Mia Rose.
What did she do in qualifying? Oh, it was a 4-4. Yeah.
A 4-7 or something. Yeah, it was. Rightio, 15 seconds for Perkins, lap 13 incident. That was literally last lap.
That is the big stick, that one. As this battle continues, only half a second still between Layla, Bell and Stent. This one's probably going to go throughout the entire duration of the race. You can see just that gap just fluctuates between sectors.
Yeah. Yeah, it's certainly interesting seeing that gap fluctuating between them. And you can certainly see where the Porsche's good, where the Aston's good, aka the straights. And the Porsche being sort of better than those faster corners through here. Bell just using all the track limits nicely there. I think she had a little cut before, but other than that, seems to be going okay. Using the curbing nicely to get the car rotating, which is certainly what you want. And the rule here, purple makes you go faster or something like that?
No, I believe it's slower, actually.
Right.
Yes,
And where did that come from?
Look, you've lost me. I have no idea what you're talking about, actually.
Right. I said, does purple make you go faster?
Moving on, Hobbsy. It's also taken a look further down the leaderboard. Looks like McClaws is also having a bit of a battle with Zuhali as well, just 8/10 behind. So another interesting battle to keep an eye on. And a bit further down the field, looks like this little battle pack between Scanlon, Horsberg and Pano. And even Piper's slotted himself into that battle as well after serving the drive-through. There's a bit going on in this race.
He'll be looking to make moves after that DT, putting him out of position. He'll be fighting back through the traffic to try and scavenge a result, unless he gets another one in about 10 minutes time by Hobbsy's clock.
Don't go there.
I mean, the steering wheel is on the wrong side of the car. That could be a factor.
Oh, replay. Let's have a look at what the incident was with Perkins. Late on the brakes. Oh,
Ooh.
that's a big shunt. Huge
Ouch.
shunt. Yeah, that'll hurt.
It's been a bit of a theme with Ferraris and missing their braking markers into that corner and the next one this round. Must be something in the waters. But as we jump back to Layla Bell, looks like she's actually stretching that gap out now. So maybe just
She's
the
catching bed
freshness.
too.
Yeah, the freshness of those tyres in the Aston's probably just knocked off a bit. So Layla Bell's just able to get some breathing room and go chase after Begg, who's just hasn't been able to really make a dent on that gap between himself and Ashlyn Reynolds.
It's come down 2 tenths since coming out of the pits, and that's McKellar, I think, just getting around Boxall there. Does nicely. That's a nice livery.
Yep, so up into P10 now. Yeah, I don't mind that that colour. It's quite a nice livery.
Don't know what he was thinking with the green wheels, but we'll gloss over that bit. I don't know where he was going.
Yeah, no. We just don't need to look at them. That's fine. So yeah, McKellar will be having his eyes forward. Up to McClaw's. Maybe his eyes were a little bit too far forward as he
jinx him, Brad, come on.
misses that braking marker there. That gives Boxall another sniff to try and latch back onto the back of McKellar here. Wonder if we can jump down to Piper and Payno, because Piper will be a rabid dog trying to make his way back through the field now in that Bentley. He's going to have a lot of trouble through the corners, but if he can get a run, he will steam train them down the straight. Coming through the second last corner, Payno.
Oh, yeah, that's actually, I like that strategy.
Yeah, probably a good move to just get out of that train. Disappointing for us because we don't get to see much action, but a smart move, smart racing move.
Absolutely. The interesting thing will be, where will Piper come out? I'm wondering, hasn't stopped yet, so could actually be behind someone like Holmes or Reynolds maybe, or even McDonald, depending on where he comes out, which could certainly cause problems.
Yeah, exactly. Definitely doesn't want to get tangled up with them and have to relinquish any time letting blue flags through. But he may come out in between Rose and McDonald.
That's the ideal scenario, of course. If that doesn't happen, then going to be in a bit of trouble. Okay, he's on the move now, so reckon he'll come out, just behind Rose, maybe, which might be a good thing if he can get a bit of slipstream off Rose. But Payno, speaking of slipstream, wants to get it off Horsburgh there, but shouldn't really need it in the M4. McLaren's good on the straight as well. Here is Ben Piper, 25 minutes on this final stint for him. If any car's going to do it, it's probably going to be this one. There's Rose. You can just see in the background there coming through turn 2 towards the S-bend. So Piper's in a good spot at the moment. If he can keep the pace up and just keep in his clean air, that is going to benefit him massively.
Yeah, that's worked out quite well in a nice little gap there. Do quite like that white livery, is the Permobile livery as well. Does work on the Bentley.
Sick drift.
Any thoughts on white wheels, Hobbsy?
Look, I can only just handle them. I think white's a bit far. Grey, silver, I can handle those. Anything, metallic silver, metallic grey, black's good too. I just don't know about White.
He's a fussy man.
Yeah, I am.
Smith Schultz, very fussy.
Well,
least
what
you
do you
don't
think,
have to-
Sean? Tell us.
You don't have to deal with brake dust in a simulation, so they stay
Yeah.
looking nice and fresh over the course of the race.
Yeah, that's the benefit of definitely of having black wheels. My black wheels in my road car, they just get more black as the brake dust.
Perfect.
As a
Exactly.
fellow black wheel enjoyer, yep, 100%.
Yep, I'm also the same.
It's quite funny that the cars get dirtier and dirtier and dirtier, but the wheels stay perfectly clean. Anybody
Yeah,
who's driven
funny
the
that one.
Porsche for more than 20 minutes will know that it gets its nice big long soot mark along the left-hand side of the bumper.
Yeah.
Not enough money in the dirty car budget to splash out for some brake dust on the wheels, I guess.
All right,
Yeah,
and we've
absolutely.
got Benjamin Hignett saying gold wheels are the best wheels.
That's factually incorrect.
I do quite like
I
a
can
set of gold
understand it.
wheels. A set of gold RPF ones, that's right up my alley. And jumping back with Grant Begg, still trying to make a dent on that gap between himself and Reynolds. Looks like it's just sort of fluctuating a bit.
Yeah, that was a rough lap. He was about 2 seconds off his best there, so I reckon he's had a few moments there, but pulls it up nicely for turn one, gets it turned in. I reckon if the tyres are a bit monch, which are looking like they are, 1.8 to Layla Bell, maybe he's going to need to look to pit to jump out on some fresher rubber.
Yeah, Layla Bell's actually closing that in quite quickly as well, so he's definitely going to have one eye on that gap. I thought he was cutting the limits there, but that BMW is actually just a really
Ginormous.
big car, so you get quite a lot of it over the curb there.
You've got Ethan Carl trying to hit on you in chat, Brad.
Oh, g'day Ethan. How was your race last night? Oh, that was a big slide on exit there.
Those tyres are screaming.
Yeah, I guarantee you they are screaming, and Layla Bell is screaming for the Porsche to hurry up on the straight so that she can catch Begg.
It's just that Porsche just needs a couple of hair dryers, maybe.
Yeah, I think it needs a bit more than a couple of air dryers.
Just chuck a GT2 engine in it for one round and see how it goes.
That might kill it.
Too much of a good thing.
All right, we want to get some thoughts on the GT2 cars as well. Anyone in chat that's had a drive in them? I am a big fan myself. Driven the Maserati and the Porsche 935, which was a bit bloaty, but Maserati's definitely a very nice car to drive. Did you have a chance to jump in any of them, Hobbsy?
Look, I haven't yet, but looking, just having seen the preview streams and seeing the way they drive, they all look like pretty good to drive. They all sound pretty good too, which is unusual. There's usually one boring one. But there's a more important question here, Brad. Sam O'Brien would like to know thoughts on your mum.
No thoughts.
No
Simon
thoughts.
Scanlon is just honing in on the back of Wilson here. Yep, he's got his eyes set on the 331 Mercedes and is just frothing it, wanting to make a move and grab another position up into P3. Maybe even a good shout to just jump in the pits and try and perform that undercut. Looks like he's got a fair amount more pace than Wilson has at this point. I guess the Mercedes, it can be a very quick car, but unless you've got your head around the setup and how to really extract the pace out of it, it looks like it can be pretty difficult to get some good speed out of.
Yes, Spidey. Oh, a bit wide there. That could have been a warning. He's just trying to get in the slipstream here of Wilson. maybe just to try and coax him down the straight a little bit. Got just 19 minutes left now, so in theory, all the drivers could pit and run this final stint, no worries at all. So maybe we'll see that, and Fristuck's got to drive through. Well, that is not an ideal situation.
Yeah, not good. Not good at all. But I mean, it was going to happen anywhere. This is the track, and luckily we also have Paul Ricard on the calendar, so you can look forward to that one too.
Oh, don't remind.
Yeah, Wilson actually decided to go defensive there, probably defending a bit of fresh air. Didn't look like Scanlon was really in a position to have a lunge, and all that's really done is just brought Scanlon in a bit closer as well. So just
Do you think we're going to see a move into turn 1 maybe?
Well, we could see a move into the pits.
That too.
Yes, Wilson just very narrow in a lot of these corners. So Wilson opts to jump in first. Okay.
Heidi was going to do it, and then he was like, oh, he's going, I'm not, see ya.
Now with some fresh air, you can just get the laps down.
Got a lot of people in the pits too. Boxall, Preciado, Lewis, Wilson, Horsburgh, all in the pits for their final pit stop. And
yeah, I'm surprised at how many drivers actually still have that mandatory left. A lot of drivers opting to just sort of extend that middle stint out a bit and have a short run to the flag. There's also got Neil Wood coming in for his final stop of the night in the 600 Ferrari.
I appreciate the Italian stripe. That's lovely. Yeah, Mia Rose in for... Oh, that was very close in the pit limiter there. That had me worried.
For what will essentially just be a qualifying run in the Porsche. So expect some fireworks.
That fastest lap is not going to stand a chance.
And T-Mac following her in, just basically mimicking her strategy. He's just sort of in a world of his own here between Rose and Holmes, and also Holmes as well. Just really solid drive. Hasn't let T-Mac get too far away, but has just been massaging that gap between himself and Reynolds all race long.
I mean, you go.
Oh, I was going to say, you'd hate to hear me say this, but maybe he's not as pro-am as he thought he was. We were talking before the season started, and I said, I'll win pro-am in my split if you win pro-am in your split. And he said to me, no, I don't think I will. Not up to pace.
Definitely not.
A few lies in there.
He's an honest man. I think he just underreps his.
I think he's a very dishonest man, Sean.
Yes,
very dishonest man.
He's a liar.
He lied, or something like that.
Well, since I'm going to be doing duos with him, I'm very excited by seeing this result.
Sean, I can tell you right now, is rubbing his hands together.
The money signs are in my eyes. No, it's good. I've been a friend of Josh for a while, so it's nice to see him doing so well.
Honestly, the life story with Sean.
Yeah. What life story with Sean? That's the end of my story. It wasn't very interesting.
Okay, great. All right.
Just noticing, we've also got Scanlon in for his final pit stop, so that'll be one to keep an eye on. He's battling with Wilson, so will he come out ahead of Wilson? That'll be one to keep an eye on.
My money's on yes. Where is... Yep, there he is. There.
Oh, they're going to meet at the apex.
Close.
Right.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, he's just timed that perfectly.
Yep.
And there's even Benjamin Piper hanging in the background to mop up any accidents if there are any.
Don't say that, Sean. You should know. You've seen enough commentators curse.
I've been cursed enough times. Yes, true. You're right.
So yeah, it looks like that undercut's also worked well for Piper, getting himself back up to P18. Probably didn't jump as many cars as he would have liked to have. Probably wanted to jump ahead of these two, but at least he's got some friends to race with for the final 15 minutes.
Oh, just getting nice and personal there. Piper. Be interesting to see if he can match the Merc. The Merc is, well, I was going to say decent on the straight, and then Wilson's just, but they both messed up the exit onto the straight. Piper doing it in probably the worst part on the exit there rather than the entry like what Wilson did, sorry. So I think there's going to be in limbo here for the minute.
Yeah, they really just cut Spidey a bit of a break there.
Ooh.
Allow him to warm his tyres up a bit and then just flex that pace and hopefully run away from these two. But this is the content we want to see.
Oh, I do love a battle like this, nice and close, especially to track like this where you even go slightly wide, you've got the warnings, and that could be the difference between you not getting a drive-through and losing no positions, and you're getting a drive-through and losing positions. I just like stating the obvious.
Such a brutal track for keeping consistent and keeping focused. And then you just have a sort of a little nap on the back straight to revive yourself for the third sector.
Yeah, I do remember when this track first came to ACC, just learning and getting fast through that first sector it just felt exhausting at first.
McCall's got a drive-through.
Oh, no.
Not another track limits drive-through, no.
Drive-through. Oh. Yeah, when you're just constant
down the ladder, there must have been a mistake from Sykes or just coming out of the pits. Oh, that might be that's the bug from when you do the pits. My bad.
Yeah, Kunos features.
When you're stuck in those battle packs, it's got to be so easy just to pick up a drive-through, especially when you got a car in front of you through that first sector and you don't have your sight lines. It's so easy to accidentally turn the wheel in a little too quickly. But yeah, this Mercedes just stalking
sticks
this
the nose
Ferrari.
out.
He's gonna have a look. No.
Yeah, that was a good decision. Piper was going to have a look, couldn't quite pull it up on the brakes, just gets it in there. So, round here now. Let's see what Wilson can do behind Spidey. It's Pethiebridge just serving the pit there. Beggs also pitted as well, coming out.
Ethan Cale also just frothing over the OES livery. It's very unusual to see an OES livery on a car that isn't a Ferrari, though.
Yes, or a Lambo.
Yes.
Because Ethan loves a Lambo, as we know. He's just decided to abandon it for this season.
And yes, the Ferrari does handle like a bus. That is correct, Ben. But yeah, look, this Mercedes is just having a look at every braking opportunity. But yeah, I reckon Scanlon's tyres will be coming to him. We'll see if he has the pace to be able to pull away.
Chris Taylor trying to keep us in the real world by telling us to get out of here with the slander, the Ferrari slander.
Yep, I will not have Ferrari slander.
I thought Hobbsy would be getting more fired up at these comments, but no, obviously since he's a traitor and gone to the Mercedes, he just doesn't care about his one true love, the Ferrari.
Yeah, that's a later problem. So 10 minutes left. 4.5 on the pit window. I believe everybody has pitted, so no real issues for drivers now. Just coming up to 5 o'clock in game. 22 degrees ambient, 27 on track as well. So nice conditions, probably what drivers would be used to driving in. And Wilson just doing his best, taking slightly alternative lines to Scanlon there, just to try and maybe offset the time gain and the time lost, just to try and make up that position. Still in the top 15 at the moment though, which is good. There's a battle between Boxall and Apreciado up the road as well. You can see on the leaderboard there, as Vediger gets a drive through. Everybody loves a drive through.
Yeah, unfortunate for Vediger there, but yeah, it looks a little bit of a battle here. Boxall trying to chase down Lewis. He's lost a lot of time. Or did Lewis just get by Boxall? Because that gap was...
Yeah, I'd say you might be right.
Yeah, Lewis must have gotten by and is just charging away now. Because, yeah, that gap was less than a tenth at the last timing marker. But yeah, just cutting back to Scanlon and Wilson. Still only 0.6. That looked like a bit of a cut for Scanlon, so hopefully he's got a few more track cuts up his sleeve. If not, it was right on the limit. Definitely feeling the pressure from Wilson behind.
When you're in the car and you go off, and you can just feel when you're getting that limit, if you're safe or not. There's just some sort of sixth sense to it all. I feel kind of clench, and then you clench, and then you go, oh no, okay, I'm far enough. I can relax now.
So nice, more even gap between these three drivers. Scanlon, Wilson, and Piper just, I think, plateauing a little bit, just doing sort of similar lap times, nor not catching, nor what a livery. That caught me off guard.
Is that the koala from Crash Bandicoot on the side?
I don't know what it is, but I do know that the front of that is the wireframe for the livery file. I do know that much.
Quite a nice design. I like it. I like it.
Well, I mean, the wireframe in the files there to be used. Why not use it?
Yeah, look, the more I look at it, it is kind of working. It's,
Yeah.
I'm glad it's not the entire car, but
yeah,
having it the front half, contrasts well.
Oh, a bit of a hit of the outside curbs there. They're painful if you hit those on the final corner. Just on
yeah,
that doesn't go well.
You'll be looking at the sky momentarily if you drive over one of those.
Momentarily, I think it's a bit longer than that. Oh,
that was a big snap.
Big save, yeah.
But yeah, he's pushing hard in this final 5 minutes to try and get this spot off Payno. Really hunting Payno down.
You know what pushing hard can also mean?
Well, these two guys are teammates, so there's some
are they?
some bragging rights, yeah, some kudos to be had here. So they'll be racing hard.
Oh,
as show, here we go.
Ooh, gone defensive.
Payno was having none of it. Oh, I reckon
did he get it stopped? Oh, he lost sight of the apex there, Sykes, and he turned in a bit too early and had to adjust his line, so that's going to cost him all the way down the straight, unfortunately.
Here comes McClaws, though.
This battle was spicing up very nicely.
Oh, lovely. There you go. Pit window has finally closed. That means we've got 5 minutes left in this race. Positions reasonably spread out. Scanlon's not too far off Apreciado, but this is probably the closest battle on track at the moment between these two. Three, sorry, I'll say now.
Yeah, player 3 has entered. McClaws. Yeah, the Mako just doesn't seem to really, even after the BOP updates, just not really looking that particularly strong here. It's going to be interesting to see how the Maka fares at the rest of the tracks. See how much Kunos has nerfed the car, whether it's still got some rapid speed in it, but the focus now is on this battle as Sykes has really closed back up in the final sector on the BMW. He's taking a look around the outside, but yeah, can't get around there. So he's just going to want to try and keep himself attached and then have another look again at the hairpin leading onto the back straight.
I'm just hoping for Sykes' sake that he doesn't go for the apex again and not be able to see it because Payno's massive M4's in the way.
Porsche should get great traction out of here. Just a little bit of wheel spin, bit of a slide, but yeah, it's still not really close enough. That'd be a mega dive from there, but going for the late apex there. But you're probably, even if you do get a nice straight exit, you're probably not going to, yeah, reel in that BMW down the straight.
Battle of the 6 cylinders.
Porsche did hold its own there.
Ooh.
Granted, they had the toe very deep under brakes, but still managed to get it pulled up. It's all over the back of this BMW.
Oh no.
I was just about to mention that Boxell's got a couple of cars behind him, but that battle has just been ended with that penalty, although they'll probably still want to try and get the move done on track, but yeah, Scanlon and Cresciato were raging up. But yeah, this battle is intensifying as the race progresses.
I mean, this is their second last lap to give it a go because Mia Rose is just coming around the second to last corner now, which will bring her onto the final lap of this race. And Sykes just looking again, wanted the inside, got a good exit though on Payno. He's going to look, just sneak up the inside there, not going to be enough to do anything. Maybe can track through the S's, I'm not sure. The Porsche should fare a little bit better than the M4. We'll see how it goes. See the different lines that are being taken out. A little bit wider goes Sykes. And then get that turn in a bit later. Try and carry a bit more speed than what Payno's doing. And McClaws.
Oh, the rear end.
What a save.
Yep.
Yeah. 10 out of 10 there. Oh, McClaws. Copy him over the hill.
Time for some tandems into the hairpin.
Yeah. Let's see what can be done. Payno knows he's there. Sykes knows he's got the opportunity, but probably doesn't quite realize he's only got one more lap to do it. So I think he's going to have to just push now and worry if McClaws is there a little bit later because he wants that position. He wants that AM class win.
There's been a very high quality battle between a couple of AM rated drivers. For seeing an upgrade up into Pro-Am for these two at least, because they're definitely. Oh, that's a cut.
Oh yeah.
Want to be careful there. Yeah, definitely racing above their class, but yeah, looks like that slide's really hurt the rear end of the Porsche. Just not able to get the power down or anything. He's just lost a bunch of time through there.
Yeah, not ideal, but McClaws.
Yeah, falling into the clutches of McClaws now. He's gone from the attacker now to the defender for the final lap. As Mia Rose is almost at the end of her final lap.
Yeah, around the second to last corner, Mia Rose comes. Dominant performance, 30 seconds ahead of McDonald's. Goes wide at the final corner. Second to last corner, sorry, up to the final corner. And across the line for P1 here at COTA, Mia Rose dominant performance, fastest lap 2:04.5. Then we've got a long wait before McDonald comes across the line to take P2.
Grand Slam.
Yep, Grand Slam to start the season. That is what Mia Rose wants
Ooh.
in the fight for the championship, as Sykes still in this one. McClaws is actually a little bit closer than before. So coming through now, down out of the left-hander towards the hairpin, everybody's least favourite corner, towards the straight. And Sykes maybe on the outside. McClaws is going to look there, but needed to get on the brakes.
Oh.
That's very close. I thought there was going to be an instant there. McClaws did well.
Oh,
And now,
Sykes got
hello.
a great exit on Payno. This is it's got.
But Payno's in an M4.
Might prove
pulling away in the
problematic.
slipstream. But Sykes going to look around the outside. Or maybe a later apex, and was there.
Oh, wow.
Can he sneak it up the inside? I reckon he might sneak it up the inside here.
He's sneaking
he had
along.
he scared Payno off though. He did it.
Formed the mind punt on him. And Payno's going to drop 2 here.
No.
Oh,
no,
Payno.
No.
Oh! That was
Sykes.
This is so close.
Oh my goodness.
That's look, great respect between all 3 of these drivers.
Yeah. Wow. Oh, by Payno. Oh no.
He's gone well wide there.
Oh, that is not what Payno wanted. So Sykes is going to take the AM win here. What a battle that was. McClaws going to follow behind. An unfortunate one to the end there for Payno. Just going wide at the end there. What a race that was for those guys.
Yeah, great stuff. High class battling. They're definitely well above what the AM badge represents.
Green light. Go, go, go.
As we, what a great race as we wait to cut across to the results. But
and you're going to take us through those results, Sean.
Alrighty. Got to put on my big boy pants.
Yep.
Let's go. So, overall, your winner is Mia Rose, followed by McDonald, Holmes, the Pro-Am winner, Reynolds, and Big. In silver class, we have Bell, Stent, and Zuhaili. And your Pro-Am winner, again, Holmes, P3 overall, wow, Lewis and Scanlon. And finally, Sykes, Payno, and Frustic are your AM class drivers. Well done to those guys. Great battle at the end.
Yeah, absolutely. Was a great battle, but unfortunately, boys, that has brought an end to us here in Split Blue, which means it's time to switch over to Split Red, which means we get to hand over to the lovely George Cook and Sean Muller.
Good evening, all. We are having a fantastic Thursday evening. Yeah, Split Blood coming up. Who's excited? I'm pretty pumped. And, of course, a big thank you to Brad Cook, Mitchie Hobbs, and Sean Brimblecombe for a fantastic race there in the early split. But joining me in the box, as always, is my good mate, George Cook, a.k.a. Cookie. Top of the evening, sir.
Indeed, top of the evening. Great to be back in the box with you, Sean, today. And yeah, thanks to the previous commentators for their work tonight. That was an exciting race to behold, I have to admit. COTA, always bringing out, I think, in some cases the best, in some cases the worst, but always, I think, great racing, despite what you might think about the track limits here. But I think we're room for another night of excellent racing here. Thanks to Split Blue. Well done to everyone who got the victories there, the top 3 and all that. But yeah, looking forward to my first stint in Split Red. So we're going to go to a quick break first, but we'll be right back with Split Red for you coming up soon.
Welcome back, everyone. Here we are in the Simrigs.com Sprint Series. This is round one in the Asia Pacific region from Split Red at COTA in good old Texas, the land of the barbecue and the most overrated NFL team in the world, the Dallas Cowboys. I am Sean Muller, and joining me in the box is the one and only George Cook. How do you feel about this place, George?
As a commentator, Sean, as you well know, it's not necessarily the best idea to give bias, but for this place, I actually really like the track, but I'm not a fan of the track limits. It's been biting me all weekend. I had split yellow yesterday. It went all sorts of sideways on me, but look, it does create some good racing. It's a nice wide track. You've got to love that about the American circuit.
100% agree. It's a Herman tilt circuit, so it's got a bit of Herman tilt characteristics about it. It's got some really gnarly track limits as well about it, as we are on board at the moment with the Johnson at the moment, currently flying around sector 1, which is a really tricky section here. As you can see, they can really cut that curve there right there on the inside. He's actually pointing 10 up there. He's made up a bit of time up on his fastest lap at the moment. This is Split Red, though. We have not seen a safety car in all three splits so far, but I don't want to put the mob on, but I reckon we'll see one tonight.
Yeah, we might. I mean, that first corner entry is really, really tricky when you've got 20 or 30 cars barreling towards that tight left hairpin corner. Then, of course, through the S's as well, it all can go really wrong and really sideways really quickly. The drivers, of course, being told very specifically to watch your rejoins in that section. It's very easy to get, onto the wrong part of the track through the S's. You try to come back on nice and safely, but it's honestly, there's not a lot of safe spots there. Sometimes you just need to pull away, get off the throttle and just wait for the traffic to go through. So, but hey, look, let's hope we don't have any safety cars today. We don't want to bring any curses over from Split Blue. Talking about myself here. So hopefully a Split Red run here with no significant incidents and good racing out there for everyone. Four categories, of course, as you all be mostly aware: Pro, Silver, Pro-Am, and Am. Of course, the badges being white for Pro, Silver for, grey for Silver, I was about to say Silver for Silver, black for Pro-Am, and the Am badges are in the red, so keep an eye out for that. 8 minutes 30 on qualifying to go. We've got a 2-minute 05.127, Sean, by Samuel, and immediately taken away by Mr. Senekis there.
Yep, so JB Senekis driving that beautiful Kovacs Triple Crown McLaren there. Of course, that is a bit of a tribute to the McLaren Triple Crown livery that they ran, but of course with the Kovacs purple on there in the McLaren. Astang goes straight to the top with a 2:04.7, if you don't mind. That is a Hollywood number if we've ever seen one. So 2:04.7, that's going to be very tough to beat. I was chatting with JP today earlier and just saying the McLaren feels like he does struggle around here a little bit. So, but of course we have seen JP race action before. He's a very solid racer, so I expect qualifying's not going to mean too much to him early on.
No, I think you're right, and the BMW's got a good top end, good top speed. As I understand it, the McLaren's a little bit down on the BMW, so that might account for it a little bit. There's a lot of focus on getting a good bit of acceleration out of the corners. The more you can accelerate out of the corners, the earlier you can accelerate, the faster you're going to be down those long back straights, which is really, really important. And of course, yeah, the McLaren, there's I don't want to call it a meta necessarily, but there's a tendency for some McLaren drivers to like TC0 around circuits like this. I personally don't do that because I spin the car every time I touch the pedal. But there is that meta going on with the TC0. So maybe Senekis is running that, and a little bit less or more throttle here or there could really help him out. He's found 2/10 already as we head through to this lovely winding section here. Actually, probably my favorite part of the track here. It's got this nice corner here. You've got to make sure you go nice and slow, and then round into turn 16. Sort of triple point corner, really, Sean. It's an interesting one. There's a lot of ways to do this corner.
Yeah, it is. It's some people miss the first apex actually, and then take the second apex and the third apex. Some people like to run it really tight. I've seen also the really alternate line where you actually sort of cut off the corner as well. So it's one of those corners. There's a couple of corners on this track. Turn one's another one where there's quite a few different lines, and that's one of the great things that actually I do enjoy about the circuit, that does have a lot of different lines. A couple of little housekeeping items. We are running a standard 60-minute race tonight with 2 stops, 2 mandatory stops. Tyres must be taken as well, so we will see maybe some slightly different strategies. Just quickly, we are running standard BOP, of course, with the ACC update earlier today, so LFMBP's not been run this evening. So we are going back to the standard BFB because Kunos did their fancy update before a race, standard Kunos things. But that should be interesting as well to see how each different car does perform. As Isron here is currently in third position in the big bad Aston. Aston is back, hashtag, with a very nice time. Oh, he's very quick.
That is very quick, yeah. 2:05.1. That's a very, very solid time, especially in an Aston with what's going on. But you know, obviously got a really good bit of control there. He's in silver category, so being up there in the 2:05s, the low 2:05s, I should say, is incredibly impressive. And yeah, of course, the update bringing the Red Bull Ring as well. So for those of you who haven't tried that out, maybe worth doing over the weekend that is coming up. But from what I've heard from Sean, it is great, and that is good to hear. I'm sure there was a momentary moment there somewhere where someone was like, "Oh, could we just switch Snipes Race to Red Bull Ring? Can we just do that?" No, no, we can't do that. No, sorry.
Look, let's not beat around the bush. It is going to be in the calendar for this season. Make no mistake about that. Which round gets dropped, that'll be up for debate and, of course, discussion. I mean, I've got my thoughts. Paul Ricard, sorry.
Yep.
Oh, Sang goes quicker again with a 2:04.705. So, wowee, that's a Hollywood number.
Yeah,
and
that certainly is.
We've got 4 minutes 30 left in qualifying as well. So it is Sang leading the way from Sonikas of the JP variety. Son, Taufik, Samuel, Palmer, Sonikas, John, and Johnson are your top 8 at the moment.
Yeah, got to give a shout out right now to P6 Palmer in the Pro-Am category in a Porsche, doing very, very well. The number 21 car, only 69 tenths of a second, or hundredths of a second, I should say, off of the top time there. It's very, very good. So he's running in the lead, of course, of the Pro-Am category right now. And we'll see if he's able to maintain that position. We've got a number of pro drivers still behind him. We've got a race control incident coming up on screen, car 113, a 4-place grid penalty is what we're hearing in our headsets right now, Sean.
Wow, and causing a collision on qualifying, that's spicy.
Yeah, that's a big slap on the wrist, and that's obviously going to cost the 113 car quite a lot. That's Walsh there in his Audi, so sounds like he might have tried to do an overtake or done something maybe a little bit cheeky, and he's caused a collision during qualifying, which is a big no-no for everyone who is not aware. In qualifying here at OOR, you do not overtake when the driver in front is on a valid lap, and you certainly do not cause a collision. It's a large track, Sean. There's plenty of spaces to find a gap. Let's put it that way.
Couldn't agree more. It's one of those weird things. I don't know what it is with sim racing, but especially the larger tracks, they seem to back up more on the larger tracks than they do the shorter tracks. I've never been able to work that out.
Yeah, it's a bit weird, but it does. You're right, it does happen. And of course, drivers not allowed to concertina at the end of the lap as well. So just a little bit of extra foresight being asked from the drivers this season, and I think so far that's worked out quite well. And everyone does seem to find a gap for the most part. Very rare to see an incident in qualifying here at OOR, which is great. But you know, it is what it is. Sometimes unavoidable. That is an invalid lap there. So Senekis will have to go again. He'll get 2 more laps though, so he's got a couple more chances here.
Of course, quick update, those who don't know much about COTA, it is a 20-corner circuit, just a tick over 4.5 kilometres, one of the newest circuits in America. Of course, GT, SRO, America races here, the Formula 1 races here. It's probably becoming the premier circuit in the US, actually.
Yeah, I'd say so. Yeah, and if you don't watch Formula 1, then you might not know it quite as well. If you watch the GT World America series, then you will be familiar with it. But anyone who knows Formula 1 will understand how most of these corners work, at least in the Formula 1 sense. My goodness, they drive very, very quick around here. They must feel... you'd think that they'd feel out of control on those Formula 1 cars, but I bet it feels great. This circuit would be fantastic. Those S's, watching the Formula 1 cars go through from turn 1, slamming on the brakes down from 330 kilometers an hour. It's a sight to behold. Beautiful. I never get sick of that.
Just looking at Sweet here at the moment. He's currently 0.27 up on his best time, so this is a really good lap he's putting together. Just try to get a bit of a slipstream there from the Aston in front of him as he goes through that really tight corner there. Really easy to catch too much curb and absolutely unsettle the car. And then this section here, which I just do not like. I feel like I never get this corner right. You're always struggling for rear traction. Then this little switchback again. Again, that little inside sausage curb, and the ones on the outside as well can really unsettle the car. And now into this beautiful triple apex corner. I love this corner. It is
Yeah.
a best corner on the track, in my opinion. And then you run it out really wide, and then you tuck it back in, dab of the brake, back to third gear, clip that inside apex, and then the last corner, which can catch you out. Some people use second, some people use first. As you can see, Sweet does use the first gear option, then use the power down of the Ferrari, and then head straight to the line. He's still up in his best time, and he does improve. Stays sixth, though. So he didn't improve as much as we thought.
Yeah, a bit unfortunate there. Sang still finding time out on track, going through the same section we're just talking about. And yeah, this last corner, it's a tricky one. You can brake later, use the lower gear, and try and sort of power out with the lower gear. But, you know, you can also brake a little bit earlier and try and nail that apex and get on that throttle really early, in which case the higher gear, the gear 2, often becomes the better one, and that often does give you a bit more pace towards the end of the straight. Of course, the timing line for the end of your lap is quite early on that, so for the end of a quali lap, I think Sweet had it exactly right. Drop down to that first gear, get a really good turn in, late braking, and power on early, because you're not going to be taking advantage unless you're going for another lap. Now on board with Samuel, he's finding time too. Down the back straight we go, 1/10 in the hand right now as qualifying does come to a close, so this will be the final lap for everyone out on track. A few drivers basically done with their laps for now, including P2, P3, P4, and I believe P1 Sang might have just gotten around for another lap. I think he did. So let's keep an eye on what Samuel's able to do here. He's sitting 1/100th of a second, Sean.
Oh, nailed that.
P4.
He nailed that corner there, Shady. He got 0.3 up, so he's flying here. This will really bump him up the order through the triple apex now. He's just got 2 corners to go. Can he just hold on to this 0.3 of a gap into the penultimate corner? Really uses the outside of the track, clips the inside curb. This is turning into an absolute storming lap here from Shady Samuel. Can he find that little extra bit? This will definitely put him up at least third, maybe second on the grid. Could he go for pole? This is going to be extremely close. Up to second. Wow, what a lap there from Shady.
That was stunning. Oh, I honestly thought he had invalidated his lap for a second there. I used every millimetre. The stewards would be staring at that going, oh, was that over the line? But it was not. No, the game says, yes, you can, sir. And he goes across the line. Man, that was close. And he nearly found that extra 10th as well. Now on board with Sang, he's finding more time. So even if Samuel had found that extra lap time at the end of the lap, he probably would not have been able to pip this man for P1. Sang on it from the start of qualifying, right at the top in his BMW, looking glorious with that livery on the car. Found 2/10 on this lap at the end of qualifying. Through to the last lap we go, and that'll be it. He's actually run out of time.
Oh. Yes, we do welcome in the one and only Neil Haynes into the box. Top of the evening, Haynesy.
Thanks, Muller, and welcome to round 1. I'm looking forward to this. Sorry, I was a bit late. Bit late with the flights here over to COTA.
That's quite all right, mate. As long as you get here, you know, Austin, Texas got slow cab drivers too, apparently, from what I hear. But we are now all here in the comms box, which is fantastic. Yeah, that was a bit weird, wasn't it? So he ran out of time. Also, he invalidated. Okay, so there we go. May have invalidated. Okay, yeah. Because usually there's enough time for where he was on track. Yeah, so a bit interesting there. But nonetheless, 60 minutes of racing coming up at COTA. Split Red looking fierce at the moment, and I'm excited to see what's going to happen. Very spicy top 10 here.
Very much so. So, chat, predictions. I want to hear predictions. Will we get a safety car? I want to also hear your top 3 as well. I'm going to go early. I'm going to reckon it's going to be Sang from JP, and I reckon Taufik might finish 3rd.
Interesting. Well, I tell you what, we'll give Neil just a moment, and I'll give my predictions as well. I think Sang for the top is. I think he's going to go for it. I think he's going to get that nice lead early on. Samuel, I'd honestly put weird as it is. I think I would go with Samuel next, and then Senekis. So those 3 at the top, I think they're solid enough. With Eisen in there, making a bit of a buffer between himself, Taufik, Senekis, and with Sweet in behind as well. I think there might be a bit of scrapping going on from P4 downwards. That's going to help those 3 launch and get to the end of the race before those others. So that's my prediction. Neil, what do you think? Having seen very little.
Well, I remember from last year, Sang was absolutely killing it in the BMW, and he's back as well. So I'm going to have to put my bets on Sang. But then after that, I think Taufik, and I'm going to put a roughie in with Lucas Keys in 10th at the moment on the grid. I think he may get in the top 3.
Oh, Neil, go with some value there. I like it.
Yeah, in the Aston. See the Aston come up into the top 3. We haven't seen an Aston up there for a little while.
Now, we did see last season that Sang did have a bit of bad luck as well. So hopefully that's all got itself out of the system, and we can see him have a really nice, clean and trouble-free season.
So thinking about strategies here, I've seen a lot of people focus in on the 1/3, 1/3, 1/3. So do 20 minutes, go for a pit. Do 20 minutes, go for a pit. Do last 20 minutes. Are there any alternatives that we're thinking here? I had seen a few maybe think about an early pit stop, and then you run something like a 25-minute or even a 30-minute or 28-minute-ish stint, so maybe pit early, try and find that space out on track. Sometimes that can be helpful at a track like this. When you're following a car, a lot of the corners become very blind, so it could be an advantage here. What do you guys think?
I think the early part of the race really dictates your strategy as well. I think if you get caught in traffic or you get an incident, then that's going to bring you early. So I have seen a couple. Myself last night, I ran a bit long in the first stint because I just felt comfortable. The car was good. So the race really, sort of the first 10 minutes really can dictate your strategy. I'm not too sure of the overcut and the undercut, how it works. I didn't pay that much attention. But what do you think, Hayden? What's your thoughts?
Oh, honestly, I think it comes down to really if anyone gets in a little bit of strife early on, you probably find that they were going to have to pit a little bit early, otherwise carrying that damage, you're going to lose time. But I think you're going to see most guys just split it in 20 minutes and then come into the 40 minutes. I think that's what you're going to see the leaders do. But then, for the top 10, there'll be a few alternatives, I think.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see for sure. I've got to give a shout out here to Satria, our M-Class driver in P11. 2 M-Class drivers in this split at the moment. There might be some more down the bottom of the grid. We might be able to check that in a second. But Satria there, another Aston Martin. So these Aston Martins are popular, which is great to see. You'd love to see these cars out there. I reckon they're a really beautiful looking GT3 car. But that's a good performance, P11 in M-Class.
Yep, so he's making his comeback to sprints. He dominated rookies in round 1, so definitely well qualified to make the jump up to sprints, which is great to see. And it is great to see a lot of different manufacturers. So we've got Ferraris, Porsches, McLarens, Astons, BMWs. We've got a lone Audi and a Honda in there as well, and a Lamborghini as well, of course, Scotty Rochford. Big Lamborghini man, very passionate, very loyal to the big bull. So keen to see how he goes as well. I'm sure he'll work his way up through the field as the field now is just starting to warm the tyres, get themselves ready for what is going to be, I think, an absolute cracking race. It is so good to be back as well. Pumped but I am going to hand it over to Cookie. He's going to start this big bad boy and get us underway.
Brilliant. Thank you very much, Sean. Right, so we are looking now towards the start of round 1 here for Split Red in the Octane Online Racing Simrigs Sprint Series. Looking forward to this very much. 28 degrees Celsius out on track, 22 degrees Celsius in the air or on the track. I always get these things mixed up, but I'm pretty sure I'm right. Optimum track conditions as well. So you've got the grip, you've got everything ready to go as we head through the last few corners before we get to the start of this race. Drivers will go side by side in just a minute. And we've got very small wind direction as well. So not a lot of wind out there affecting things. That's great news for all the drivers. Going to be keeping an eye on what's going to be happening from P10 down to P20. That's where things can go a little bit sideways. So keep an eye. We've got a prediction in chat from Damien Thurk saying safety car lap 1. Oh, I'm going to touch wood right now. That does not happen as we go side by side and head down towards the last 2 corners. 60 minutes coming up in this race. 4 p.m. local time, Circuit of the Americas here at Austin, Texas. And a beautiful day it is. Very much looking forward to seeing what Sang can do, what Samuel can do. Will the commentators' predictions come true? We will be seeing momentarily. And this is it towards the end of the straight. So bear in mind, the end of the lap is about where they are now. That line right there on your screens right now, that is when the green flag will go. So down we go. They're going to line up, hopefully in their pit boxes. Not quite for some out on grid, but we're about to get started here in round 1. Circuit of the Americas, the green flag is about to wave. There he goes. The safety marshal on the side of the race hits that button. The green flag goes out and we're off. Into turn 1 we go. Sang on the inside nicely. Going around the outside is Samuel. It's a bit brave. He's on the curbs already though, so he's going to be in trouble. Going to have potentially Senecas on the outside into the S's, and side by side they will go. Senecas, beautiful move around the outside there. Full throttle, add full commitment into the S's, and Samuel has already lost 1 position on the start there. A little bit of stuff happening in the background as well. Satria has fallen down from P11 to P14 in the start of this race, but clean though so far. Very clean.
Extremely clean. Will be interesting. That start will be reviewed because did say a couple of cars are coming across their pit boxes, but we can't confirm. Well, we won't jinx it just yet, but that is 4 splits without a safety car. So a fantastic job by all our drivers in our splits here. But look at JP here. He really wants to put the pressure on Sang early. He was saying that it's saying maybe the quickest driver here, so he wants to see if he can put him under pressure. Shady Samuel there on Thursday. Head down this long back straight. Everyone in the tow, a little bit of in the background now, sort of bit of 2 and 3 wide action, but up the front he's very much single file. Oh, Shady Samuel just shows the nose a little bit, but decides, yep, we'll tuck back in. Just try and get ourselves nice and close, and then try and get back into the slipstream and maybe have a crack there down the main straight.
Exactly right. The only driver so far to not be moving in the positions is Enzo Eisen, Chris Thang, and a couple down towards P16, P17, P18 in Ethan Small, Andrew Weinham, and Carl Johnson. Everyone else has shifted around and moved position quite a lot. To be expected here at the Circuit of the Americas. Taufik has lost 3 positions at the start, as has Palmer, but Buskovas has gained 4 positions already and is leading the Pro-Am category, so congratulations there. That's a great start on lap 1 for him as we head down towards the final corner and into the straight, where we will start our second lap of this race, and we'll see exactly what happens. Sonekas definitely putting the pressure on, but a second gap now, and there's a spun car at the end. He's holding his brakes. Hold the brakes, please. Thank you very much. Does so pretty well for the most part. That is Satria. What a disaster.
Yeah, absolutely. The top qualifier in the AM class, so they wouldn't be happy about that one, but they all got through without too much incident. I think there were a couple of little touches there, boys.
Yeah, I think there was a little bit, wasn't there? A couple of cars not expecting there to be a car sideways, as there's another car immediately in the path of Satria has come through turn 1. Wow, that's it's a bit scary when that happens.
I think that Aston was driving the Dulles.
I just want to mention too that my little roughie there of Lucas Keys, he's up from 10th to 6th on that opening lap as well. So I think he took advantage of a couple of those cars that spun early on as well. So good running from him in the Aston.
Certainly is. I think he might have gained a bit of a commentator's blessing there from you, Neil.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah, Keys here, yeah, he's up to 6th position. Hainsey there with the absolute nail pick there. He's got that absolutely spot on. So a fantastic start in that beautiful Aston. Look at that. With British Racing green as well. Is there anything that is not right in the world? That is perfect. That's the way Aston should be. Yeah,
if we have a one-make race of Aston Martins, they all have to be this colour. It's simple as that. No questions asked.
So we are now in the second lap. The race is just settled down a little bit, actually. I thought we'd see a little bit more dicing in that, but it looks like everyone's really got into a rhythm quite early. We are seeing a lot of sort of one-line action, but of course we will wait and see. With these sprint races, well, what we have seen is there is a little lull period, and then it gets spicy, especially coming into the sort of the pit stops as well. So we'll keep an eye on that. Here is Ison at the moment, currently running in 5th position. He's got Sweet, 4th position, sorry. He's got Sweet right behind him as well. So, and we know Sweet's a very quick operator. He gets a beautiful run there out of the last turn as well. So we should see the Ferrari get in the tow. Might have a bit of a dive there at turn 1. We're going to keep with this action here. So Sweet now revving that Ferrari, winding the turbos up. Of course, the Aston is turbo as well. Oh, he thought about it. He showed the nose there a little bit.
Wasn't quite the confident dive down the inside, and it gave Eisen all of the space that he needed to cover that off quite nicely. And he had right of way on the track. So that Ferrari doesn't seem to have, even in the slipstream, necessarily the pace to really get a good send and a good overtake and overlap on an Aston Martin, which is very interesting as we go on board now with Corey Sweet. I've had him in my rear vision mirrors a couple of times, mostly once on occasion when he's made mistakes and fallen behind wherever I've ended up in a race, and he's a scary man to have behind because he is a quick guy, and he knows how to overtake very, very well, but sensible out on track. If Sweet does get this done, we will have a direct battle between Eisen and Keys, Aston versus Aston in silver category, and that'll be for the silver win. So as much as I want Eisen to keep that P4, I would love to see a battle. So maybe Keys can find a way past Corey or something to that effect. I'd love to see that, something going on there. We've had a couple of comments in chat as well. All Astons should run a particular livery. I won't repeat that on stream. And then too much Pepe, the game would crash. Okay, so there we go. Too much green might be too bad. It might not be great.
as Alex Walsh, number 113, cops a 15-second penalty for a collision there on lap 1. So our stewards already hard at work. Big thank you to our stewards as well. Tireless work. Oh, sweet there, right in the back there of Ison. That was really close, right up to the rear end of that Aston. He could see that badge there, so he's just got to think. He's backed it off a little bit. He's planning something here, Corey Sweet, though. I reckon he's got an idea in mind where he thinks he can get past. We'll keep an eye on this. I'm going to call it in 2 laps he'll be past.
Yeah, I think the actual Ferrari does actually look like he's really good under the brakes, especially through sector 1. He was gaining on the back of Ison, but Ison was able to power out a little bit of those corners with the in the Aston. But I'd be thinking up this would be a perfect opportunity up into turn 1, or maybe at the end of the back straight with that hard left-hand corner.
Ooh, little touch there.
That's close. He's got to try and go around the outside. That's super brave there from Corey Sweet. Oh, is he going to get this done? This is Hollywood stuff here. Oh, what a touch. Oh, wow. But it looks like, I reckon he was up on the inside. What a move there from Corey Sweet. Wowee.
That's so brave to go side by side there. He did have the overlap, so that was absolutely fair game, but they ended up coming in, colliding a little bit there. But I think at the end of the day, that's probably going to be looked on as a racing incident. There was really nowhere for either of them to go at that part of the S's, and this now does bring this silver class battle into contention, which I do like. Got John Senekis there in the background, the 555 McLaren, also still trying to find his way past those Aston Martins, but I don't know if that McLaren's going to have the legs to do it either. But beautiful stuff from Corey Sweet. You've got to take a hat off to that level of bravery. It was beautiful to behold.
Unbelievable to behold. Yes. And just quietly, I just want to say, Sang just popped in a 2:04.7 race lap, if you don't mind.
He's cementing himself here, isn't he, for that fastest lap? And I tell you what, that was a real move as well from Sweet, wasn't it? It's good to see someone committed through that section of the circuit, and he absolutely owned that part of that circuit over Ison.
Yeah, it's one of those things about the S's, right? When you get into the S's, there is really only one proper line if you want to maintain some decent speed there. When you go off that line, when you're side by another car, you're suddenly worrying about 5 or 6 different things. You've got the track limits there, which we all know are very, very tight. You've now got this other car you've got to give space to them as well. As we do see a car heading into the pits, we'll get an idea who that is. I think that might be Taufik. We'll see, as we are only 9 minutes or 8.5 minutes into this race. That is an early pit stop from Taufik, obviously trying to get out there and try some sort of undercut situation. But yeah, as I said, the S is very, very to get right when you're going single file. When you've got a car side by side to you, it gets really, really complicated. I'm surprised there wasn't a larger incident involved, so great driving by both of them, I've got to say.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that could have ended a lot worse, but it really, at the end of the day, Ison, you know, yes, he went off track and that, but he's still trucking along and he's still in a really good position. So at the end of the day, it's hard racing, and that's what we love to see. And I'll tell you what, though, Keys has got the eyes on you. You've called this, Neil. He is absolutely flying there at the moment, and he's got John Senekis right behind him as well, who is never afraid of backwards coming forward. And he's going to try and actually go for an inside move. I thought he had a look. Did have a look, but he thought, no, better on it. And actually, out of the 3 Kovacs McLarens we've got, so we've got the purple, the orange, and the yellow. I like the yellow.
Yeah, the yellow one's quite nice, actually. Anything that's got black, white, and yellow definitely appeals to me. There's a nice little contrast there. They've got the colours in the right order as well. You've got the nice yellow at the back. Yeah, it's very nice. I agree. Yeah, purple's good though too. I have to admit, the purple is good.
Oh, of course. Classic Kovacs, the purple.
Yeah, exactly right.
We will get a shot of that Porsche in behind, though. That is a striking livery. Now, I believe that is a sporting team, that Falcon. I may be wrong. Someone may. I believe that is the basketball team. It's not the Atlanta Falcons. I know that. Someone will. I'm sure someone in chat will be able to let us know that. But that is striking, and it's on a Porsche, so of course it's great.
Yeah, I mean, it was only a matter of time until you talked about a livery on a Porsche, but...
It's been 11 minutes, I've done well.
Okay, that's fair, as we do see another race control message, Mark Bushell there, the 512 car, a drive-through for causing a collision on lap 3. That is a big slap on the wrist. What's happened there? That's massive. That might well have been the incident that we saw with Satria was on lap 1, I believe, so it can't have been that. So something obviously happening further down the field that has caught the attention of the stewards. The clicking of the pens has begun in the steward's office. We've got Welsh there, 113 car, also with a 15-second penalty. He is serving that now as he comes into the pit lane with 49, just under 49 minutes to go in this race. Fantastic stuff so far. Let's see what this Porsche can do. Palmer on a charge.
He's on a charge at the moment. I just saw on the rear bumper there, it just say Atlanta, so I might have actually got that right. Holy go, man. So, but he's really working on the back of Keys here. Sneakers did get past Keys there as well, so Keys just struggling a little bit. Could be rear tyre wear. This track's really harsh. As soon as your rear tyres go in this place, the cars just feel absolutely horrible. As we see another message there from Race Controls. Pete Viney in 118 gets a 10-second penalty for
we might get to play some of those at some point. But yeah, I guess let's go around the table here. Rear tyres and tyre life. I was foolish enough yesterday to go with a qualifying setup here, and my tyres didn't exactly reward me for that decision. What is the key here, do you guys reckon? What's the key here? Neil, what do you think? Is it get the race setup ready to protect the tyres, or do you try and look for that turn in, the speed, and focus on the setup that's going to get you around these corners?
Oh, definitely, yeah. You want to have that grip around the S's, don't you? You don't want to be compromising through there. I think you just basically try and get something that can last that 10 minutes or so, at least with a good tyre wear, and then hold on for the next 10 before you come in for that scheduled stop, I would say. But yeah, it's a tough track because the tyres do get worn out, and this pressure here that we're seeing right now from Johnson.
Here is Luke Johnson in that beautiful Castrol McLaren, chasing Mike Rill, aka Barbecue, in a Ferrari too, which is very strange to see because Mike Rill is known to love his Astons, but he has jumped into the Ferrari. And of course, Johnson there in that pretty well-known Castrol McLaren now. It is pretty famous in OOR land, and of course, he's a big supporter of greyhounds as well. He's a beautiful greyhound, but he always shows pictures of it. It's one of the fan favourites. But he's looking really racy here. And of course we know that Mike Reel, very experienced as well, so they're going to make it easy for him. There's another Johnson there in the background, a fellow who's chasing in that orange McLaren. So this, I reckon, is going to turn into a four-way battle very quickly. We've got Bartlett just ahead there as well through the S's. They can see the wheel work there. And this part of the S is actually, I find the trickiest. This part right there is so tricky. It's so dense.
The track just blows up like it really doesn't have that exit at that point, because everything's been flowing through the S's, and then you get to that final one away with the rise, and it just depends on so
and of course the key of that corner, because you're basically onto the back straight at that point, or onto a fairly long straight, you need to be with the power down. The power has to be down early, and yeah, you don't feel like you're going to necessarily make it. You nearly see a move there from Johnson. That was nearly a look, but Reel has closed that off nicely. Still holding on quite well at this stage. But yeah, as you said, it's going to be a four-way battle very soon. And oh, that might be a track limit there, because he was well over the curb, well over the white line on the inside of the corner. So I think he might be suffering about with that now. There'll be a few drivers out there, I think, potentially with 2 or 3 warnings already. Something you've got to be so careful of. But you know, how do you balance that out? That's the tricky thing around circuits like this. How do you balance out pushing, racing, and then also staying well within that control limit? It's a tricky thing to balance. It really is.
Yeah, well, sure. I think that was a big sign. They were rear tyres starting to scream mercy. So, but here he is, tucked right under again. See if we're going to get another move up the top of the hill into turn 1. Definitely thinking about it.
Oh, this is interesting because Bartlett's slowed right up as well. So this is jamming. This is really closing up here, because Bartlett looks like he's struggling as well. And McLaren's definitely struggling with rear tyre life. Look, Luke Johnson, he's absolutely on the wheel. I love this stuff. This is why I enjoy sim racing, watching a driver just get up on the wheel and actually drive the car. Little corrections here and there, and through this really tricky part, cut it in, and then we go through here where the track all of a sudden loses grip completely. It's like they've got to service that part. Thank you, American Track Land. Run it out nice and wide, then you break probably at that third line, then tip it in, nice late apex, and then get on the power nice and early. He's got a, now he's in the slipstream. Does he have a go down here, down towards the airpin? We do have seen that McLaren just seems to struggle a little bit in the straight line.
Yeah, the McLaren
he got
is
a bit
definitely
sideways coming out of that corner though too, Sean. It looked like he was fighting rear end grip there, and that's cost him. But look at him under the brakes here, boys.
Yeah, he's right up on the rear wing of Real, and I don't know whether it's just, you know, he's got a different braking line, he's able to find that reduction. I think the car might be set up. Is this an undercut here in the corner?
No.
He's trying, but it's going to have to go around the outside. That's never going to work at that corner. There's no grip there. You can try a switcheroo, but suddenly the car you're trying to overtake has got the inside line, and it's all over once again. But he is close, and here we go through the fast triple right-hand corner. There's not really an opportunity here. Certainly not on this corner. You'll compromise yourself. You'll get a track limit. Very easy to do so. To go back on board with Johnson, he's going to choose to pit. Probably smart. Yeah, I was going to say, he's been stuck in that rear draft there of the Ferrari for a while now. And at the end of the day, getting a bit of clean track out there, I think he knows that he's got the pace to get past. But, you know, once you get into that final sector, very tricky to find an overtaking spot.
I think everyone in chat, let's get around that. That was a fantastic exchange between two very experienced drivers there. Yeah, that was great to watch as he jumped back here with Shady Samuel currently in second position. And he's got JP right behind him, who's just dropped off there a little bit. So maybe the McLaren, we have seen the McLarens just seem to struggle with rear tyre life. I haven't driven the McLaren much around here, but it seems they are dropping off early.
Yeah, the quote-unquote meta here for McLarens is TC0, so there is a lot of tyre spinning, and that does mean your rear tyres disappear at a rapid rate. Probably why we saw Johnson sliding around quite a lot. We even saw Bartlett ahead taking some very alternative lines that were a little bit kinder on the tyres, so to speak. Is that a move? No. A little bit of a look there from Senecas, but nothing of it at this stage. But yeah, the McLarens probably having to try and find a way to brake a little more in a straight line and just sort of V out the corners a little bit more so they're not under power going forward. As we see Senecas get a little bit loose under power as well. So it does seem to be a bit of a McLaren problem, doesn't it?
It does, and if these two start battling, there is a orange Ferrari there in fourth position who we'll keep an eye on. Corey Sweet, I think, is going to close in. Not rapidly, but I think he's going to slowly start chipping away at these two. And, yeah, we'll keep it. I don't know what you do. What do you do here? This is sort of one of those really tricky parts. Is sort of, if I'm Corey Sweet and I feel like, maybe I've got a bit of a pace advantage over the guys in front, you come in early, try and get yourself a bit of clear air and just drop the hammer and try a bit of an undercut.
Yeah, it could be as well, but also if he's starting to pick up a bit of pace as well with the other guys with their tyres worn out, and he's been able to save those tyres a little bit, it might be worthwhile just holding on and pit him when they pit as well, and then knowing that next session as well that maybe he can just last that little bit longer. So it's interesting. Obviously strategies here at COTA, I think it will be the telling factor at the end, especially for the positions from 5 downwards.
Yeah, absolutely. It is a tricky one, isn't it? Because the ideal pit time might have been at the end of the previous lap there for Corey Sweet, would have been pretty much spot on 20-minute mark through the race. That would have given him another 20-minute stint, equal length essentially. So he'll have to go around. He'll be at sort of 38 minutes-ish, or just at the top of the 38-minute marker there when he does end up coming to the pits, if he does decide to pit. You've got only this, one or two, with 2 pit stops, you've got 2 opportunities essentially to make that decision. I think that might have been the right time for Sweet just to pull into the pits, even though he's fine with the air right now. He's got clean air in front of him, but I think he might have missed he is definitely catching. That is very, very true. But if he can get that undercut and then get them out of the pits, into turn 1, we've seen how difficult it can be to overtake here, and it looks like he's preserved his tyre life a bit better than the cars ahead. That could have been an opportunity for him.
Or does he do an SVG, being able to sort of save his tyres and last that and stay out longer, and then by the end of the final stint, he may have a 10 lap, well not 10, but say 5 lap fresher tyres in his opposition, and may be able to just mow them down.
Or does he do? Or does he do my hero Kevin Estre and just bloody send it?
Or maybe he's doing it. There we go. Yeah, there we go. No Bono, my tyres calls. No Bono, my tyres calls. P2, P3, P4, all in the pits. Okay.
Yes, Sang's still out, so he's controlling this race. So it'll be interesting to see what the margin may be once Sang does decide to pit. See if he's lost out on anything.
So I think the battle for the podium is the one we're going to watch. So that second and third position, I think that's going to be an absolute rip sort of. I don't want to put the Moz on early because we did that last season, if you remember, Cookie, with Sang, and he had a moment to forget. So we'll just leave him alone there as we're looking at Tom Kidman at the moment in the McLovin. Yes, what a team! That is top tier right there.
Yeah, 100%.
I actually like that colour scheme, by the way.
It's nice with the fluoro green, isn't it? Or fluoro yellow, I suppose, but it depends on the screen, I guess, you're watching from. But yeah, something about McLarens and being associated with McDonald's and the Macca, so to speak, Big Mac, and McLovin, whatever McDonald's anecdotal phrase that you want to use, definitely appropriate. You've got to love that. And when you double down on it, you see a car like this. It's we could have used a few more memes on there, maybe. Specifically to do with McLovin and some movie references related to it, but I think it's a nice line. I think it's very clear who that is. Let's put it that way. Yeah,
I was going to say, it almost reminds me of the Hamburglar. I think he was a bit purple, wasn't he? Purple character.
No, wasn't it Grimace?
Grimace, was it?
Yeah, Grimace was the purple McDonald's character.
Yeah, there you go.
Because the Hamburglar was the one with the prison bars, and then you had Grimace was purple,
that's what.
and then you had Ronald McDonald.
Grimace. Yes.
Oh, I think just keep it.
It's only taken us what's that? It's only taken us the 37-minute mark to get onto food. That's done pretty well for us.
I think that's pretty good.
Talk about food, guys. Last time I was commentating here with the Simrigs Sprint Series, the final round. We were commenting about the possibility of anyone getting a Christmas present from Simrigs. It'd be interesting to hear in the chat if anyone was lucky enough to use the discount code from OOR and get some prezzies from Simrigs over Christmas.
Good call there, because OOR Patreons do in fact get a 5% discount off in store, and we do have a graphic that occasionally flick up, but we are focusing on the racing, so we'll continue to focus on the racing. But
also, sorry to interrupt, I just want to mention as well, Simrigs are apparently opening up a Melbourne store as well. So I haven't got a lot of details yet, but they are opening up a Melbourne store, which is really exciting. So you can actually jump in and go see some of the products and actually try them out, which is really cool. And there is the graphic on screen. So our fantastic OOR Patreons do receive a 5% off in-store discount. Tell them Sean and Cookie sent you, and they'll hook you up. Some fantastic products and a really great customer service as well. So a big thank you to simrigs.com for all your racing needs.
There we go. We've got one in chat already saying absolutely use the Christmas discount, and it stacks with the Patreon discount, so that's even better. Double discount there essentially. So good on you for using that. That's excellent, and of course it does help us out when we have OOR patrons. So if you love what you see here, if you love the racing, if you love what the guys do in the background, we've got admins, we've got community managers, we've got all sorts of staff, we've got stewards that volunteer their time, us commentators that come in here and just have a blast. We like to volunteer our time, but nonetheless, there's a lot that goes on in the background. Do consider becoming an OOR Patreon. It does help out the league massively, and of course, if you're new, if you're watching, get involved. It's a great league. And we've got a lot of racing coming up. We've got Endurance Series coming up. We've got the Duo Series just been announced. You guys thinking of getting involved in that?
Unfortunately, the Duo Series, well, I'm going to miss the first round because I will be in Thailand. Self-promotion. But of course, the Blue Ribbon event is coming up. It is the Bathurst 12-hour. It's the one we all look forward to. It is the most sweaty qualifying. It is the race that we all enjoy and love around, let's be honest, the greatest 6.2 kilometres in the world. Very excited for Bathurst 12-hour. Teams I know have been organised. Qualifying, I believe, starts next week as well, which is really exciting. And we are hearing reports that 159s and lower will be on the board.
That's a little bit scary, isn't it? But yeah, the race actually the 10th of February too, guys. So mark it in the diaries and head over to the website, join the Discord, make sure that you get your team together. Team of 2 or 3 drivers. 3 drivers would probably be perfect for the 12-hour one, don't you think, guys?
Yeah, I think about 3 would be good. 4 if you want to do a little bit less racing, but you know, it's 12 hours, so it's all within a reasonable space of time on a Saturday, which is great. And of course, you know, you can sign up with less drivers initially, and then you can always add and change car, add more members, etc., etc. So worth getting those sign up and those registrations in as soon as possible. Some will run more than that though. Some will run 5, maybe 6 drivers. Only 2 hours at Bathurst at a 12-hour race. Ah, come on, it's not worth it.
No, exactly. Good thing about you'll be racing quite a few of these guys on your screen right there that you can see through there, so you can mix it with all these guys that are running around here in Split Red for this Sprint Series, and test yourself against some of these quality drivers out on track here at COTA. And it looks like we've just picked up here a Sang. He's just at the moment.
Yeah, he's got that
after his stop.
I'm sorry, right? Yeah, this is interesting because Sang has actually got a lot of time. Shady Sable's right up his rear here because he's been held up by blue flag. So this is actually a race for the race lead here. So this is really interesting. Shady Sable has made up an absolute bucket load of time. How has that happened? So Sang had a bit of a piss stop, and Shady Sable was actually going to go for a move here. They're going to go down the inside of the back straight. They're on the marbles. This is crazy stuff. Oh, Sable going to go try to pull around the outside. Sang breaks nice and into the hairpin. Samuel holds it around the outside. He's got to be really careful doing it. Now he's going to have the inside move. I'm losing my voice, but he's going to get it done. Oh, Shady Samuel, you star. What a move. Get around that.
Oh my goodness, Sang's trying everything now. He's getting squiggly under brakes, under acceleration and everything. But he's lost out. P2 now for Sang. He was held up for so long by the 78 car, but it was fair play to the 78. Did not have to move away. Was in front. Oh, that was incredible. So we have a change of lead here. Samuel up in the P1. And look, there is Senekis right there in this fight.
Yeah, this is what I was saying before, guys. You know, when we saw those guys all good earlier and Sang decided to stay out, I was going to see how much he lost by staying out that one extra lap. And it looks like, as you said, he did get involved with the battle still with the cars yet to pit, and that was all for position. But these guys have definitely gained on him by pitting that 1 lap earlier.
This is what we love. Split Red, it was a slow start to this race, but now Split Red's just starting to get into jalapeno territory. This is what we love. This is why we enjoy Split Red. We've got 3 absolute benchmark operators here in 3 different cars. If this doesn't get you excited and to get involved, nothing will. Absolutely fantastic racing there from Shady Samuel. Sang as well, gave racing room, which is what we love to see. But we do know Sang's going to fight back here. And JP, the experienced head that he is just going to sit back. He can just sit back and go, you know what? I'm just going to let these 2 go at it. And if there is some scraps, I'm taking them.
Yeah, exactly. They've still got 1 more pit stop to do, which could be coming up in as little as 10 minutes for Senekis and Shady. Whether Sang will run long again, I don't think he wants to make that, I suppose, mistake again. But Sang's going to have to run down the back straight. BMW power absolutely pushing him down the straight. He's going to be very, very close into the braking zone. Not going to think about a move. He's just going to try and even out this corner, get the power down nice and early, try and maybe find that inside line, forces Shady to go a bit defensive into this final part of the corner. And will it be an inside move? No, it's blocked off nicely by Shady. This is great defensive driving from the Ferrari. And again, Sang forced to put on the brakes a little bit early, forced to go wide, and Shady will come away with another 2/10 gap back to Sang. And this is not going to be helping Sang's tyres. Of course, this is going to be bringing those newer tyres that he's got back towards the level that Shady and Senekis will have, because they pitted, what was it, about 3 or 4 minutes earlier.
Correct.
Yeah, correct. But this is going to be a 4-way battle shortly, guys, because look at Sweet just behind in that orange Ferrari as well. So he's going to join this party probably in the next lap or 2 as well.
This is going to get really good, really very quickly, as Sang just shows the nose there. But of course, the BMW's got the aerodynamic efficiency of a brick thrown by a bloke at a pub on a Saturday night.
Which arguably could be good aerodynamics, but it depends on the thrower, but no.
This is the part of ACC, and this is part of GT3 racing right here is what I love, is seeing the cars in their different strengths and weaknesses. So through that really quick switchback stuff, we saw the Ferrari there, just pull a little gap in that. But we're going to watch the BMW. It's going to get into a tow, and then it's going to really use its party trick as well. And the McLaren, again, is just sitting there. Rear tyres are probably already going, what are you doing? What are you doing?
Yeah. Quite literally, yeah. The Ferrari, no, Ferrari's got great front end. It's got that ability to turn in, fantastic under brakes as well. So very hard to get that overlap on them, even if you've got that overspeed down a big long straight like the one we're on now. Let's see if Sang can catch up to the rear wing of Shady and maybe pull an overtake. This is going to be a massive send if he does it. Don't think it's going to happen this time. I think Sang's quite happy just to hold back a little bit, follow Shady through this last sector of the race, maybe try something into turn 1 again. If he can focus on that exit out of the last corner, he might just have a way to do it. Turn 1 is a brilliant place to overtake. Send it down the inside. There's suddenly nothing the car in front can do. But Sang, he's gone very deep there. Okay. So I wonder if that was a little bit of just, trying to outbrake himself a little bit, or he's obviously trying to get an overlap. But that has not worked out. So rest in peace, that plan for Sang.
Yeah, you think he just needs to just cool it a little bit, because just weaving like he is too, he's just eating away at those tyres as well, and he's probably just missing his brake marker just that little bit there with Samuel in front of him.
Well, I have spoken to a couple of BMW drivers, and they say the BMW loves munching its fronts. So you can just see that little bit of understeer creeping in, a little bit of lack of braking performance there, as Mike Reel was still yet to make his first stop. He's going for the Paul Cranich strategy. Run as long as possible and maybe do 2 stops. We'll think about it though. We'll just wait and see where the timer is at. But bold strategy, I like it. We do like an alternative strategy.
We certainly do. I wonder if he's going to try the old go 55 minutes and then do 1 out or 2 out laps in a row, maybe.
The double. I like it.
Yeah, who knows? Don't think that's going to work out for him though. But you've got to give it to him. He's got a nice bit of clean air out there in front in that 71 Ferrari. Yeah, he's not going to be catching up with these guys anytime soon. And the battle continues down the back straight. Again, we go. Shady Samuel still ahead. That gap looks like it's still a little bit too big for the BMW to do anything about, but I think good points raised about the difference between these cars. Really nice to see the battles between the Ferrari, the BMW, and the McLaren. They've all got, well, I mean, the top end, there's 2 different sides of this. That's the Ferrari and the BMW, and the McLaren sort of somewhere in the middle there. Not got the best top speed, not got the best turn-in, but it's got a bit enough, just enough of each as we go on board with Sang. Let's see what he's doing through these corners. So this is where it all went wrong from him last lap.
On board the BMW, sorry. As we are on board at the moment, and you can just see the BMW through this stuff where you need a little bit of agility from the chassis. The BMW just is struggling this season, and you can just see it just doesn't like it. But you wait to this last corner. Saying if he can nail this last corner and get the power down, and then unleash the BMW party trick. We'll just see in the tape. We'll just see the background in the rear view camera. Sanika's there, and I've been keeping an eye on Sweet as well. Just been watching that gap. It is slowly coming down as well. So JP's about to have a fight on his hand, I reckon, for that final step on the podium. You just see right there. See how much the BMW just closed up there. Then now watch through here, through the S's, and you watch that Ferrari or Samuel just pull out a little gap with its agility. He's real. Oh, geez, I'll tell you what, Sang was brave through there. That is bold. He really flung that M4 through those fast S section, and now through the stupid corner. And then up to this part where it's a slightly uphill. I actually like this corner. Then the second stupid corner. Again, see that rear traction right there. That's why that corner is absolutely horrible.
Yep. Exactly. And one small move there, and you have a track warning. And speaking of track warnings, What are we thinking, everyone? We've seen a few of these top contenders go off a little bit. That's a better exit through the corner for Sang. Shady Samuel gets a good exit too. What are we thinking about track limit warnings here? Do we have maybe 1 or 2 on the board for each of them? Do you reckon it looks like anyone's nursing 3 track limits at this stage? I wouldn't be surprised if there's a few on the grid that are, but I think they've been pretty tidy so far. I've seen Shady maybe make 1 or 2 track limits. So he might be on 2 at the moment, but they're still full send out there.
Oh, they definitely. Oh, it was Sweet. I think was that one the move that he made before. Or what was the Castrol? Sorry, the Castrol McLaren.
Oh yes.
That was Johnson. Yep.
Johnson. He'll be one that's obviously got a couple, maybe a couple of track cuts there, and he's all the way down in 11th. But yeah, these guys here. I don't know if we've actually seen them go too far off the track, so they could be okay. Is Mike Real? I think he's in pits at the moment.
Yes, he is.
So Real has popped in the pits. Oh, there's definitely some drivers out there that've got at least 2, maybe 3, 100%.
Oh, well, there's a driver that's got... Well, sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, oh, drive-through. We've got our first drive-through. There we go.
Yeah. I was going to say, there's at least one driver with 0 out there right now, and that's Wyden, because he's got a drive-through. So. Oh, and that looks like another track. Okay. All right, guys. Maybe I might have cursed this one just a little bit. Keep it cool, everyone out on track. Don't get the drive-throughs. They are not fun to deal with. At all. I guess a little bit of an update from around the track as well. Eisen still leading Silver Class at the moment. He's got keys down in P10. Sorry, Neil, that is not working out, but he is in the pits for his last stint, so this might work out in his favor. We'll see. Then in the Pro Class, of course, Shady Samuel leading us away. Real is technically in the lead of Pro-Am, but for how long, I'm not 100% sure. Palmer, the P21, P2 currently in the Pro-Am class. That's going to be close on the exit. Palmer does get ahead, so Palmer leading Pro-Am class. And then Small is currently leading the Am class at the minute in P14. Very respectable position out on track. Satria, the 37 car, they're down in P19, sadly. So Small in a bit of a battle now. This is looking quite spicy with Buskovas as well. 22 minutes on the clock, and it is cooling out there, everyone. Track temperature is now down to 26 degrees, was 28 at the beginning of this race. So it's going to be worth seeing exactly how cool it gets. That'll be a little bit easier on the tyres, but probably not that much.
I was just going to mention the track temp there. Yeah, it has dropped 2 degrees, nearly 3 degrees. So Texas is getting cooler. What is going on there? That is very strange for Texas.
Doesn't make much sense. I'll be honest with you.
Not at all.
Not what you expect from being in a place like that. And yeah, it's usually expected to be more like sort of 31, 32. We've seen that in the practice servers a couple of times, and definitely causes a little bit of trouble on the tyres, a little bit of extra trouble. So it's not always the most bit of fun. But yeah, Small doing a great job here. P13 now, after someone else did come in for a pit stop. I'm not quite sure who that was.
Oh, here we go. I was just about to say he's about to feel some real pressure here because Buskova. We're going to call him Bus. Yep, because yep, Bus. We're going to go Bus because as typical Sean here, I always butcher a pronunciation. As Gorilla says, it's also nearly 5 p.m., but it's still Texas, mate. It's still hot in Texas that time of the night. Trust me. Oh, is he going to go for a move on the inside? This is super deep on the brakes, but he's run it too wide, and Small's going to come back up the inside. Great exchange between those drivers. Fantastic. And I just want to give a shout out. I do like that Logitech livery, by the way. That is clean.
Yeah,
definitely. They got the Logitech colours, but that was smart driving by Small as well. He obviously seen Boscovas. Was diving deep, gave him plenty of room, knowing that he was going to overshoot that, and just kept his line. And he's still in front here in position 13.
Got to respect smart driving like that, and that is smart defensive driving at the end of the day. Especially when you can catch someone off guard like that, and suddenly they're really, really deep. You just go, oh, yeah, okay, you do you, and I'll do me and take the position back. Looking a little bit off-piste, so to speak, through the S's there. Maybe a little bit uncomfortable as Small, but yeah, when you've got that pressure on you, whoa, has a huge oversteer moment on the exit there and catches it nicely, though, Neil.
He sure did, and well done for an AM driver at that moment as well. Just keeping Boscovas there at bay, and let's see if we can continue this on. We did see the Ferrari just have a little bit of legs on the McLaren last lap down here, the big back straight. But it looks like Small has been able to get the power out of the final corner there.
Certainly has.
Brilliant.
Actually,
he's going to go for a movie. Get up the inside. Oh, that's two very alternative lines there. Oh, but has he got that? Wow, what a move. That was great. How good was that? And you know what? Respect to Small as well. Gave really good racing room. You know, respected the move. That's what we love to see. Didn't try and turn in too early. That was fantastic. Really well. Oh, he caught that stupid curve there on the outside as well. I've caught that many times. It absolutely launches you into the stratosphere, that thing.
Yeah, I got a drive-through on that one yesterday. It was I was mildly frustrated, I think is the phrase that I'm going to use here. Might have been a few choice words ushered in the cockpit at the track and such, but I completely agree. Small there, obviously incredibly aware of what's going on around him. What letter of the alphabet was that line though from Muscovus? That was something completely out there. It was like a fancy written V or something. It was quite the move, but he planted himself in the apex and job done at that point, really.
Yeah, well, it works. So that's the main thing, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right. You
Exactly.
got it done. Yeah.
I believe that was Appendix C, subclause 5 of the overtaking handbook. Yeah.
No, you're absolutely right. Yeah. I also want to make a little mention about the pace that these two have on them right now, and obviously they've got another pit stop to do. Senekis, Eisen in the pits, or just come out of the pits as well. So Senekis pulling the pin at around the 18-minute mark. That's very, very interesting because Sang and Samuel are still going. I think it is a good decision. Your tires are going to be fine for 20 minutes, and we're already at 17 minutes remaining. There's a 1 second gap now. Samuel has pulled out a little bit of a gap. That is very, very good news for him at this stage. Really, it's going to come down to who pits first, and maybe this is now in the ballpark of... oh, here we go. I might have got my Senekis mixed up a little bit. I don't think I have. No, I am right for once. 44 is Jean-Pierre. And then John, of course, the 555. So I was spot on there, luckily. So, no, this is not technically P4 here with John, despite him actually being in technically P3 now. But here we go. Yes, everyone is starting to consider that final pit stop. And it is all go now.
Actually, it's interesting we're talking everyone sort of pitting as well as we're looking here sweet on camera at the moment. I actually like this pit entry. I find it enjoyable. I know that's weird to say about a pit entry, but I actually find this pit entry enjoyable. It's probably one of the most challenging things on the track to get it absolutely right. And there is a trick to it. I discovered that actually just by myself. Basically, you just go absolutely flat out into it, and as soon as you brake and about to turn in, hit the pit limiter straight away, and it pulls you up. Now, don't get me wrong, there was some error.
I was going to say, no one necessarily gets that right the first time, but funnily enough, because I went for my one practice stop that I remembered to do at the 11th hour, and I did exactly what you just said, ironically, on the first try, and it worked, and I was like, wow, that's the nicest pit stop I've ever been to. Yeah, I like that. That's really good. It might be, in light of other pit stops being, a tragic disaster. So anything that's not horrible is suddenly amazing. But yeah, I think, a little trick to that, you just, slam on the pit limiter, the car's turning, you're using all the mechanical grip, and the car just plants itself with the pit limiter, all the weight goes to the front, and you are at 49. Immediately, 49 kilometers an hour.
Definitely. As we're looking here at JP at the moment, I think he lost out a little bit from that stop as well. So he has dropped off just back from Sam there. And he's got, yes, no, maybe. Oh, no, I'm doing maths. Oh, no, Samuel's, hang on, what is going on here?
Samuel's dropped a big
chunk of time. He's had a massive, what has happened there?
Maybe a missed pit bay or something happened. Obviously, maybe his strategy wasn't right. Maybe got more fuel than what he needed. Maybe it was only tyres in it. They didn't have to put fuel in.
Yeah. Well, yeah, the tyres negate the fuel. So that is interesting. So I think that's definitely either a miss pit. Oh, it's got to be a miss pit bay, surely. 'Cause
Yeah, so
Shady
I'm
was
having
flying.
I've got the stats up now. That was a 41-second stop for Shady Samuel. So the average pit stop out there looks to be around 32 seconds. So that's how he's somehow ended up 10 seconds off the pace. I don't know how he's managed that, though. I've got an R next to my pit indicator here. I wonder if he's ended up overshooting it and had to reverse and then also had to then change gear when he starts the car up again, and it's just cost him massively.
There's
that is...
getting a 10-second penalty for some dangerous driving for Lucas Keys back on lap 21. So that's going to drop him down just that little bit because he's in some tight company at the moment.
Certainly is,
So-
but that blessing has seemed to have turned into maybe a bit
I
of
was
a
about to say-
deal. Yeah.
So,
That's what I
Lucas,
mean.
Lucas, if you do watch this stream back, send all complaints across to Neil Haynes, please.
Oh, these things do happen. Yeah, I wonder if we can pull up a replay of what's happened in the pit box, but we'll see. If we don't get one, all we know is that pit stop for Shady Samuel was a disaster, I think is the right word to use there. He's going to be very frustrated with what's happened.
As Damiano said in chat there, I bet Samuel hit the pit entry wall. That could be, yeah. But we didn't see that. We didn't see that because we saw him come in. So,
I mean, if he
so that's
picks up any
interesting.
Pink wheels for you, Sean, of Benji's car.
there
in
it
front
is.
of,
There it
Rory.
is. There it is. We haven't seen it all stream, and the abomination is back.
I think Ben Deek is actually following us, Sean, just to make it really, really tough for us in the commentary box. I think he's doing it on purpose. He was in Split Blue last season when we were commentating there. Now he's getting a
Sweet up the inside.
Going for it.
It's done.
Yeah,
That's
round of
excellent.
applause there. Get that candy livery Lamborghini out of here.
So race goes on now for Sweet. He looks like he's effectively third. Oh, big sideways moment. That's Satria, I think, is it?
Yes,
Yeah,
that
it was.
is. Well, Corey Sweet will say, thank you very much. I will happily take that position because Satria was under no obligation. But I think it comes down to when you get someone like Corey Sweet in your rearview mirror, the pressure does amp up just that little bit. Puts you under pressure, and then suddenly you find yourself sliding through a corner.
It is intimidating. I mean, I don't know. You used to have had the same thing when you get one of those really quick pro drivers behind, and you're not as quick as them. There's always a bigger fish, as they say. It does put you grip the wheel a little harder. And
well, my story here is this was I think third race I did at OOR. I was being followed through the top of Bathurst by Mia Rose, and we got to Skyline, and I might have been worrying a little bit more about what she was doing than what I was doing, and I ended up in a wall, and then she ended up hitting me, and then there was a couple of spinning cars going down the hill, and I felt very bad because I was P25 and she was P1.
Yeah, it can be those things because you do find that that's exactly what happens. I think you're trying to not make a mistake. You're trying that hard and you're looking at your mirrors and you don't want to. And the next thing you know, you seize up a little bit and these things can happen sometimes. But yeah, you can find you get a little bit of sweaty palms. And as you said, Sean, you do seem to grip that wheel that little bit tighter.
100%, and it's thing that comes with experience. It's one of those things that the more you race with these really quick guys, and we're talking about some of the quickest guys in Asia Pacific region, if not the world as well. So these are serious operators, and the more you race with them, the more you learn to where they're going to have a go at you, when they're going to pass, and that it just makes that more comfortable as well. And the great thing as well, and this is something that I love banging on about the OR community, is they're normal people, so you can reach out and say, hey, do you mind giving me a tip on why are you fast here? What are you doing here? And that's the great thing as well. I've got some great tips from some of the really quick drivers, and it's made me not so much quicker, but more consistent. And I think that's the biggest thing about sim racing as well, is the consistency. It's not so much pace, but consistency, I feel, is the most important thing.
Couldn't agree more. Yep, it's exactly what people need to focus on. You know, if you're 2 seconds, 3 seconds off the ultimate pace, you know, that is not a massive concern at the end of the day. Everyone can find ways to get faster. Sometimes it depends on the amount of time you've invested in the practice side of things, or how you're analyzing, you know, the data that you get out of the tracks. You know, things like Motec. There's all sorts of stuff to improve pace, but improving consistency and your racecraft is absolutely key. So, speaking of things that are key, let's have a little race update here. It is Sang technically in the lead. Real is actually leading the race again. I'm sure he'll be stoked. He's leading the race, you know. So the number 71 car leads us away technically. Sang in the lead though after a disaster in the pits for Shady Samuel. 2.4 seconds the gap back to Senekis. So Sang's worked a bit of magic, I think, in this race and pulled it back towards his direction. We did think that Shady Samuel was going to be in this basically towards the end, but unfortunately it's not gone his way. Senekis patient as ever, but only 8 minutes and 30 on the clock to make up 2.5 seconds-ish on Sang. I don't know if that's going to happen this race. Corey Sweet sitting technically in third overall, and then Shady Samuel down there in P5 as well. Sweet having a great race too. Taufik made his way back up though to technically P5. That is pretty good work from him. And then Eisen leading silver class in the 75 Aston Martin, currently P6 overall. Then we've got John Senekis, the 555 McLaren, and he's doing quite well too. Palmer though, Pro-Am leader right now, Porsche, and P8 overall. Stunning work from him. Still a little bit of a battle though with Real, who still has to pit. It's the only man out there on track who has to pit. And then Keys with that 10-second penalty. Ouch, that's going to hurt at the end of this race. Probably drop him down behind Bartlett and maybe even Johnson, who's right on the back of the number 14 Bartlett. I love that number 14. Alonso's number.
So, there we go. Thank you. So we've just got information that Shady had to reverse. So, and in the Ferrari, that would have taken 5 minutes.
Yep, and that would explain the R I've got on my indicator.
Yeah, so that's one thing that he won't want to repeat next week, that's for sure, because that's a race gone begging, I would say, fellas, because he did come in leading at that time over Sang, and yeah, he's given that one away.
Yeah, and I think he really did have that pace advantage. Well, maybe not pace advantage, but he certainly had enough pace to hold Sang off. Sang just wasn't able to make take the opportunities that he might have been able to do on Shady, and Shady was driving absolutely beautifully out there on track. So had he had a 31, 1.3 or a 32-second pit stop instead of a 41-second pit stop, we'd be in a different situation in this race, and Senekis would only be about 1 second off the back of that pack, and it would have been that three-way fight that we saw earlier in the race. So it is a bit of a disappointment, but these things happen. It's surprisingly easy to do. I'm also a culprit of doing that many times, unfortunately.
ACC, I swear.
Battle here, mate, guys, for 10th position. So I don't think not all's lost here. So we've obviously got Johnson really hounding the back here of Bartlett, wanting to try and get this position, but this could be as far as position 8, I guess, if once Keys gets his 10-second penalty, and also Real yet to pit. So depending where Real comes out after his stop, this could be as high as 8th position.
Couldn't agree more. This is actually a great battle as we're looking here at John Senekis, Carol, and Palmer. It's just me, Palmer's looking really racy in that Porsche at the moment. So he's embraced the Porsche mantra, which is send it, hold on for dear life, and use the brakes.
I thought there was a prayer in there too, but
It's always a prayer. We say a prayer every single quarter, don't worry. But he's really got the bit between the teeth here, and he's given John Senekis an absolute hounding here in that beautiful Atlanta. I'm a big fan of that. But these are two of the best little make that mistake. Yes, we can jump on board now, listen to the greatest engine in ACC, 9,000 RPM, flat 6, and the 992.
Warning, subjective opinions ahead as we go on board with a Porsche.
Up the straight now, and make sure that this is the great thing about the Porsche. There's no shift on, just absolutely red line it and shift into the first turn now, and look at that Porsche brakes, look at that. But then the power down from the McLaren. John just gets a really nice exit here, and he's going to flow it through here really nicely. The Porsche it's okay through here, Like through here it's nice, but then through here it just feels, I don't know. Oh, John made a slight mistake there. Definitely an error, so it's going to give Palmer here a bit of a run. Brad just again tucking it in. This is a great battle, fantastic to watch. And once again, one of the greatest things about GTA3 racing is watching two different manufacturers, two different drivers go about their business and just seeing strengths and weaknesses. We've got 4 minutes 14 to go, so it's a go time. It's lick the stamp and send it time, 100%.
Oh, and that was a great exit, great entry under the brakes as well for Palmer. He's going to give him a real good run. On the McLaren ahead of John Senekis. Oh, he's gaining as well. So yeah, this is showing the McLaren's lack of top speed on these back straights. He could go for a move here. Pulls out into the air, the wall of air. Does get on the brakes. Late on the brakes. Beautiful. Goes side by side. There is racing room left there. John Senekis will have the inside line though. So smart thinking there from Senekis. He's going to cover off this corner nicely. Holds the apex beautifully as well. Power down. A bit of a tight line through these final few corners, but that's going to work out nicely because it's going to force Palmer to fall back into single file as we enter the triple right-hander here. Nice racing from these two. It's a stunning little bit of work there from Palmer, taking advantage of that. Sadly, he couldn't quite get that Porsche, the power down on the exit, and that's actually cost him an overtaking opportunity as we head through the second to last corner. Everyone's within the white lines there. I don't think the stewards will be clicking any pens on that at all. Nice work. And I think he might just have the run on him again. Let's see.
Fantastic.
Brakes running up the hill here with a Porsche. He'll be really selling the Porsche brakes up from the top here into turn 1, but covered by Sonicus.
Oh, that was close. There was a COTA varnish in that.
That was potentially a missed opportunity there. I think you're absolutely right, Neil. That could have been a stand up the inside in turn 1, and it would have worked 100% for Palmer there, but he decided to choose the outside line. Then suddenly you see the McLaren just get a little bit squiggly on the apex. It does not like riding those curves at all, and when it does so, it does not want to turn. It likes to go in a straight line once the car is airborne, unsurprisingly. So maybe a little bit of a missed opportunity there. Good driving, though, good awareness to get on the brakes before he slammed into the rear of that yellow rear bumper of Senekis. But here we go again. This is going to be a very back and forth battle. Loving what I'm seeing here.
This is fantastic. Just back to that turn 1 thing, though, the Porsche does get a little bit of weirdness in the turn 1. It does go very light in the front end, of course, because it's got the engine in the right spot. Here we go. So Palmer now is in the slipstream. John's going to go to the inside. Brad's going to try and switch it around the outside into the hairpin. He's going to try the wide line and try and cut it back up the inside. Use that famous Porsche rear traction, but John absolutely nails that. Oh, that's brave. Yeah, that's not the place to make a move. As they come through this little switchback, the Porsche feels very uncomfortable here. As you can see, just straining for rear traction. It's a nice exit here. This is where you just got to be a little bit patient. This is not the place to make a move. Try and just get to that last corner, get a really good exit, and then try and send it up a turn 1. Maybe it was a little bit of a double dutch the lap before, just show the nose, maybe show something that's not actually there, a bit of a fake. Now the last corner, here we go. John, beautiful there from John. Oh, Palmer, oh, lovely, that was nice. Here we go, I reckon. Mr. Haynes, this one's all yours.
I think this is just the last lap as well, so he's got this last lap, probably 1 lap to go to try and make this move up into 7th position. We're going to have to see where he might be able to get this move done. I'm thinking even if he tries to hang it around the outside after the back straight and just try and drift it wide to try and get that inside run, but he's trying through the S's here, boys, and this is going to be very, very close indeed.
You'd love to see the braveness just brave. There's a little bit of a gap. You go, oh yeah, I have a little bit through there. Of course, that gap does rapidly get closed by the car in front. They do try and hug the apexes through there very, very tightly. But oh, it's a little bit wide there from Palmer. I don't know if he got all 4 wheels off the white line. There might be a track warning. Doesn't seem to have picked up a drive-through for it. Speaking of drive-through, that Deke and that candy livery Lamborghini, I think it's not a drive-through for track warnings. It's a drive-through for blinding the spectators with the very, very colourful livery. But leader is on the final lap, and Stan is coming around the last few corners. We'll keep an eye on camera 2. The fight going on. going for another move here. Senekis is going to have to defend as well. Here we go. Big on the brakes. He's got the outside line. Senekis around the outside racing from Gibbon. Oh, that's beautiful racing. Senekis will hold the inside line in the final 3 quarters.
Oh, fantastic exchange. That was magnificent. As Dane will cross the line and take a race victory. But hats off to Johnson and Brad. What a fantastic exchange of racing there. Respect, you know, racing room given those two. Oh, that is definitely, that is racing exchange of race on set. As JP will finish in second, Corey Sweet will finish in third, Shady Samuel in fourth, Telfik there in fifth. As we go back to this battle, Johnson is going to hold on, but this is definitely the battle of the race. These two stand up, chat, seriously applaud that. That was fantastic for a last lap battle. A lot of times that does end in years, but that was awesome. That was, oh, mate. I keep forgetting.
Yeah, the finish line is actually well for that, isn't it?
It confused me, that, doesn't it?
I think it's got both of us there.
Yeah, that can be interesting if you get that mixed up during a second car. Let's put it that way. He comes across the line. It didn't clear that 10-second penalty. We'll hold that across the line. But as well, Harmer will take, of course, for Arrow and victory. Well done there. Eisen, he said the silver category victory. We'll go through all the results soon. That battle, absolutely beautiful to behold. Congratulations to those on a brilliant race. As you can see in those last 2 laps, stunning work. Currently very fair racing. That's the kind of racing we'd like to see here. And it does happen more often than not. So definitely looking to get involved. Nessenekis was P2, P3, so 3 positions up there for P3, P3, that's the next position because Samuel to Talfi P5, stays where he qualified. Eisen will talk to him about the new place there, so good qualified, keep it up there with the very driver, so very good effort at EC6 for him, bring up the time sheet momentarily give you our finals as well, and chat will take run through also, so that's very big. I've got saying next from Sweet and Rose and Brooks Sweet
Yeah, we've still got Eisen in that, Martin Johnson in second, Keith got third, Johnson in fourth, still waiting in that Honda in fifth position, Justin and Bendick, push, and Walsh round that out. And we've got Palmer, really well, Kevin and George Viney, Chalmers and Antcom. And category got small and Satire. So, wow, that was pretty exciting. Next round is still before that, I believe, in North America coming up later this morning on the season. We'll go this morning.
I think it's this morning. Yeah, time zones are not something we should try and calculate on stream. I've learned that from bitter experience. Neil, technically, you're the only one with a prediction that's technically come true in not its entirety, but technically in the silver category, he did get third place. So there you go. Technically,
not overall, but I'll take that.
Very good. Yeah, so I guess that's pretty much wrapping up our split red coverage here in the Asia Pacific region for Octane Online Racing for this week. But as Sean just said, they're going to be back next week, so make sure you tune in for those. Looking very much forward to it. Big thanks to all our drivers out there today for putting on a great performance in both splits. And big thank you to Glenn Jermaine as well. Always the legend behind the scenes here doing magic that only I guess the best of us could hope to possibly do. So big thank you to Glenn as well.
And just before we go, make sure those are in the big brown land that is Australia have a fantastic long weekend. Stay safe on the roads. If you are out on the roads, make sure you look after yourselves and enjoy the weekend. Spend time with your friends and family. Have a barbecue, have a snag, have a cold one if you want to. And we will see you again in the morning for North America and, of course, the next round from Silverstone. But a big thank you to everyone and a big thank you to the one and only George Cook and Neil Haynes. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.
Thank you very much.
Guys.